Boy, howdy. I sure do hope that we continue to make morally questionable decisions today.
I love I love Crimson Spires. I love that part when Mr. Spires finally goes, I'm gonna crims, and then he crimses all over them.
My favorite part was where Erica turned to the character and said, I can't believe these goddamn Crimson Spires. Wait, that actually happened. I hear muffled voices as Julian sets me on the bed. Stacy is in a panic. I don't know if I was asleep or purely unconscious. All I know is that an awareness returns, so does the pain.
We need to remove her shirt.
Oh, is that okay, Erica? Should I ask Julian to leave?
I try to respond, but only a groan escapes my mouth.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh, wait, no. I was going to say, like, isn't that important that he used the name of the other one? But no, Lucius Christ was the one that, okay, so Christ would still, okay. Sorry, I thought there was something important to him using the dude from the other church. You know, the J-man instead of Lucius. He gets to work removing my shirt. Stacy mumbles her disapproval, but reaches in to help him. I feel someone removing my silver necklace, and I start to protest, but the words never leave my mouth. Together they settle my bared body onto the bed.
We need towels, tweezers, and disinfectant. Rubbing alcohol, perhaps, or hydrogen peroxide.
Of course, right away. I'll also call Kathleen.
That won't be necessary.
But there's so much blood. Was she shot?
We'll explain later. You said you would fetch those items now.
Yes.
She scurries away. Something brushes my face, and Julian's fingers are soft and warm and tinkle against my skin.
I'm here for you, Erica. You're safe now.
I reach up to push his hand away, but instead I grab it and don't let go. This really fucking hurts, Julian.
I believe you. There's a bullet in the back of your right shoulder. It almost went all the way through you, but not quite.
Why don't you call Kathleen?
We can call her in the morning if we must, but first I can do more for you, if you let me.
I hear footsteps scurrying towards us.
I have everything you asked for, and bandages.
Thank you, Stacy. You may go.
But are you sure we shouldn't?
I can help Erica the most right now. Please leave the room.
Stacy looks confused for a moment, then nods and obeys. I wonder how much Julian used his hypnotic abilities to convince her. Julian gets up to close the door behind her, then returns like a whisper. I need a doctor, Julian.
Unfortunately, there are no doctors in Bataille. If you insist, I will call Kathleen, but I truly believe I can help you more than she can right now.
How can you help me?
You've seen what I can do to bite wounds. I can seal the wound back up for the most part. I don't know how it works exactly. I think it has something to do with the bond that forms between myself and the human. I can urge your flesh to heal itself as mine does.
So I'm to be your victim?
No, you are not. Right now, you're my patient. I can use my influence to quell the pain and relax you. Then, once I bite you, our bodies will be bound.
Once you bite me, you'll have complete control over me. You can make me do whatever you want and then make me forget about it later. Yelling at him makes my pain worse. I groan and fall back onto the bed.
Please, Erica, let me help you. I won't betray your trust.
Interestingly, he likes it when we require assurances. He talks a big game, but he prefers it when we're sticking up for ourselves.
Yeah.
I need some sort of assurance, otherwise I'll never know if you tried to alter my mind.
I understand. In fact, I support your decision.
Cool. He's coming out and saying it now, so...
Oh, we leapt ahead.
I leapt ahead. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I was cleaning gunk out of the controller button.
If we have proof I treated you well, then perhaps you'll learn to trust me. What do you have in mind?
Give me a few minutes alone with Stacy, please.
Erica, please tell me your plan. I'd prefer not to be video recorded. If anyone ever stumbled on such proof of my nature...
This doesn't work if I give you all the details, so I guess you'll have to trust me.
Very well.
True to his word, Julian leaves the room and sends Stacy back in his place. I ask Stacy to retrieve an old backpack from the depths of my closet. I rummage through it until I find a notepad and tape recorder. First, I write myself a note about what I'm about to do. Then I prepare the tape recorder and set it carefully below my bed. Stacy looks puzzled, but when I ask her to bring Julian back, she quietly complies. Soon I'm alone with Julian again. He kneels next to the bed, unaware of the tape recorder rolling nearby, and leans close to me.
Should I begin?
Do it.
Please, sit up, relax.
Oh my god, and this is like circa 2000, right? So the tape recorder is... There's a non-zero chance like the tape recorder is actually like a thing with like... like, oh god. Oh, like one of those... Oh man. Because you think about recording someone and today you just whip out your phone, right?
Yeah.
But back in... No, that there's a whole scenario you have to go through. Oh my god. This is great. I really love like pre-modern technology.
Pre-modern.
in modern in the sense of like not in like a fucking grand historical sense. Don't get me out of context here.
Pre-modern cassette tape.
Shut the you knew exactly what I meant from context. And
I
then
did,
you
but it's still
chose to
funny.
misinterpret it to make a joke.
That's called humor.
His gaze locks with mine as he makes the request. I am pleased to do what he wants. Even as my shoulder aches, my body relaxes. You're messing with...
I want you to feel better. Do you feel better?
With every word he mutters, the pain grows quieter. Yes.
Do you want me to continue?
Yes.
Good. Then I want you to close your eyes. Forget about the pain. Focus only on what feels good.
He caresses my arm, his touch as light as a feather.
How does that feel?
It feels good. He moves around me, rocking the bed gently. I feel his touch against my back. When I remember my nakedness, heat rushes to my cheeks.
This will hurt, but only for a moment. The pain will be followed by relief. Are you ready?
Just do it already! His breath tickles my shoulder blades, and then finally... I feel more than a prick. My gunshot wound screams with pain as he sinks his fangs into it. His teeth close around something that shouldn't be there. He yanks it out and spits it out, the bullet. I cry out from the pain, but then his mouth returns. As soon as I recover my breath, relief washes over me. The pain subsides, and in its place, never in my life would I have entertained the thought that I could enjoy someone biting me. It transcends all logical thought. But as my blood flows into Julian, I feel our connection. I am a stream and he is the ocean. We are different yet the same, and we are strongest together. My body seems to resonate from the source of his touch. My muscles ache sweetly as if from a massage. My skin tingles as if splashed with tiny drops of water. Can't say how long he drinks from me. I am lost in the sensations, leaning into his power, body and mind. I feel his hands wrap around me. His stomach presses against my back, and I know this touch could become more, and I want it to. A happy sigh escapes his throat as I lean back against him. Julian. He pulls back suddenly. As soon as his teeth release me, the pain rushes back.
Please, stay still. I'll finish now.
His mouth returns to the wound gently now. He licks around the room that kisses the sealing flesh. And then, just like that, he stops. His touch firm as he pushes me away and back to the bed.
There, it's done.
But, are you sure the front of the wound?
Kathleen can tend to it in the morning.
He seems flustered. I want to comfort him. Or you could keep going.
I must not.
Julian.
Please, don't tempt me.
His gaze is full of both longing and frustration.
We both know that if I went any further while you were in this state, you would never forgive me.
Hey, he's learning. Good on you. But I want this. I'm overcome with exhaustion. But this thought, it rings clear and true in my head. I want him. I want to feel his touch again.
You've lost a lot of blood. You need to rest.
Julian, please just...
Rest.
He says it firmly this time, eyes drilling into mine. I fall back into bed and into a slumber too deep to comprehend. I mean, he's what, 30-something? But he learns. he learned. He got there. Good on you, Buddy Bumpkins. I guess. It's the only kudos you're going to get out of me. Ugh. I gotta admit, for a while there, I was wondering how the heck he was what he was gonna do, and to actually like get the bullet out. And then I'm like, oh, just go behind and give it the big suck. All right. The next morning, Nurse Kathleen comes to visit as Julian promised. She seems surprised by how well my injury has healed so far. Even so, she still works on sanitizing, sealing, and bandaging the wound to the best of her ability. I sleep throughout the day, still riding the effects of what Julian did to me, along with pain medication from Kathleen, but I'm aware of Julian lingering nearby. I'm embarrassed about what happened.
Linger.
Sometimes a man has to linger. Do you have to let it linger, Julian? Do you have to? Do you have to? Yeah, Julian, do you have to? Sorry. I'm embarrassed about what happened last night, but even so, I'm comforted by his presence. It is a strange feeling. He helped me. He supported me against Freedom's Dawn. He healed my wound after I got shot. At one point, he tells me he'll be back soon, and then he vanishes. I wake up from a nap to realize that the house is empty except for me. Remember the note I scribbled before Julian drank for me? I find it and read it. Everything in the note is described as I remember it. Nothing conflicts. Next, I recover the tape recorder and play the tape. Heat rushes to my cheeks as I listen to the muffled recordings of the moment Julian bit me, but I force myself to continue. When it's over, I pull out the cassette, yank out its tape, ignoring the pain in my arm as I do so. I don't want anyone else on earth to ever hear that. But as I pull everything away and settle back into bed, I find that I'm smiling. My memory matches the records. Julian didn't betray me. Sometime after a deep sleep, I awake to a warm sensation pressing against me. I look up to see Julian sitting on the bed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you.
What time is it?
Late?
I glance at the window and notice it's dark outside. Suddenly, I'm very disoriented. How long have I been sleeping?
You mean how long since you were shot?
Yeah.
About 3 days?
Motherfucker! Shit! I start to sit up, but fatigue overcomes me. I groan and fall back into bed.
Don't worry, I stopped by the precinct. Madeline seems to be holding down the fort, so to speak.
You spoke to her?
No, I know how much she despises me. I spoke to Mayor Ward.
Didn't trust Maddie at first, and with good reason, but I'm glad she's the one filling in for me.
She can do the job, but no one can replace you, Erica.
He squeezes my hand gently, and I squeeze it back.
That reminds me, Colleen sent you a gift basket. The Order of the Line is very grateful for your help the other night.
Good. I don't know how I feel being in the good graces of a cargo cult, but sure.
Well, at least you'll get plenty of cargo.
Cargo fast? Cargo very fast.
I'm sorry I disturbed you. I just wanted to check on your wound. You should go back to sleep.
Been sleeping for 3 days, remember? That's way too long.
Not for someone with a bullet wound?
Or someone with a different kind of wound. That's right, I just compared myself to Jesus. What about it?
To whomst?
Oh, fuck. Why? I'm tired of staring at the ceiling. I want to go outside.
By all means.
Maybe watch some Q folders.
But I don't think you should return to work yet.
What else would I do with myself? In the silence, I think of a possible solution to my own question. I have one clue that I haven't pursued yet, the earring from Bell Street. I have my own theories as to where the earring came from. Theories I'm afraid to voice to Julian, but there's a way I could investigate quietly. Could use a change of scenery. Maybe I could visit you at the mansion? Julian looks surprised at first, but then his expression softens with pleasure.
You want to? I would like that.
It's a beautiful place. My only hesitation is Charlotte. You know I don't care for her company.
Actually, she's been quite reclusive lately. She hasn't even been staying in her room. She's been using the upper floor of the mansion, far from my own quarters.
She's been fucking August! She's been fucking August, you absolute buffoon! She's jealous that you got a human friend and now she wants one.
I don't think she'll bother us, but if she intrudes, I'll make sure she behaves.
Reclusive, is that because she's seeing August? Julian stiffens.
She's what?
August said he started dating her, or something. You didn't know? Does that bother you?
Why should it bother me?
Well, for starters, August is probably a murdering sociopath.
Charlotte can take care of herself.
Then something else is bothering you. Jealousy?
Don't be absurd. Charlotte can do as she pleases, as will you and I. So, will you join me at the mansion tomorrow? I'll prepare dinner for you.
Can you cook human food? A smile of relief on Julian's face warms me.
I'll find someone else to do the cooking.
Oh, that's so nice of you. That's so thoughtful. Coming from you, the person who doesn't eat the food that I eat.
I'll make sure not to put in much blood.
No blood?
Almost no blood. Got it.
No blood.
I'm not sure I quite
I'm
follow.
going to repeat it a third time. No blood. I don't know what it's so funny about the need to repeat myself 3 times in order to make you understand gag from AOC, but wait, Agents of Cracked AOC, not politician AOC. I realized that there was ambiguity there now.
Do you think it's possible for a vampire to keep kosher or to keep halal?
I don't know the specifics of what it means to keep kosher or halal.
Because there's restrictions on blood in meat.
Yeah, but I guess do you consider a living human being meat the same way you would consider a dead animal cooked and prepared to be meat?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that if you're a vampire, that would pose some difficult religious struggles for you that are unanswered in religious law, answered in the negative.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do believe it's possible to keep vegan. Because it's less about like because the key factor is that the person you're drinking from can consent to it.
I see.
Right. And that's the key thing there that turns that around. But
so what you're saying is that the cow from a restaurant at the end of the universe would be vegan.
Yes, I didn't think that's where I was ending up, but yeah, that's absolutely, yeah.
Challenging questions all around today.
I know. We asked the big questions here in the middle of the loading screen that has now ended. I knock on the door of the Bataille mansion. Afterwards, I hear my own heart hammering in my chest. I can't entirely blame my physical state. My wound has healed remarkably over the last few days. My main challenge has been fatigue. Whatever Julian did to me helped my wound heal with incredible speed, but my body still did the work. The walk to the mansion exhausts me like I ran a marathon. Oh, Kathleen probably figured out that it was Julian that did that. She knows they're vampires.
Yeah.
I don't know how much she knows about it, but it's not inconceivable she knows that.
Yeah.
About oh, your wound healed way too quick. Oh, well, that explains it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'm not afraid of the Batailles anymore. At least not in a physical sense. More than anything, I'm afraid of how much my emotions have changed since I partnered with Julian. Finally, the door opens and reveals the source of my fear.
Oh, how grand. Our final guest has arrived.
Charlotte, shut up. You don't have a route. You don't get a route.
Yeah? Yeah?
How do you know what I'm talking about?
You haven't made it to route number 5 yet. Who knows what happens?
God, if that's a Charlotte route, I'm going to be so happy. Final?
Yes, August came some time ago. He's preparing
He's the one
dinner.
preparing dinner. Of course he is. I must be wearing a ridiculous expression on my face because Charlotte laughs with unshackled glee.
Oh.
Thank you. She turns and saunters away just as Julian arrives. He scowls after her.
I swear, Charlotte must have a secret way of knowing you've arrived before I do.
Did Charlotte ship me? Is that possible in 2000? Like, when did people start like shipping pets and stuff?
I don't know, but there's vampire tech going on here, so...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, fair. Oh, right, because we're on Twin Earth.
Yeah.
August is the one cooking dinner?
I'm as disgusted as you are. We can find our own dinner and enjoy it elsewhere. It's a large mansion.
So large and so lonely.
I thought Charlotte was gone, but she reappears next to Julian, surprising the both of us.
The more the merrier, I say. Let's all dine together. It'll be fun.
We have no desire to join you in your poor excuse of a companion, Charlotte.
For some reason, the strength of Julian's anger sets mine back. Actually, I shared an office with August for 6 months. I can endure another meal with him.
But do you really?
Julian loses all words as he stares at me in disbelief. It's as if he silently accuses me of betrayal.
See, Care Bear, this will be positively delightful.
Both Julian and I bow our heads in defeat as we follow Charlotte inside. Care Bear. Yeah, that is what her pet name for him would be. God. God, she's insufferable and I love it. Torment. Ah. What does it say about me that I'm more cool with Charlotte's brand of being absolutely insufferable and less cool with Julian? Remember, you can excuse more things if you're gay. It's true. Truly enough, we enter the dining room to find August setting the table with freshly cooked food. Is that pizza? You cooked fucking pizza?
Don't you like pizza? I've seen you eat it before.
I like pepperoni, but this looks...
Vegetarian. Old habits die hard, even when trapped in a small town of limited supplies. I managed to get some basil, mushrooms, and...
It looks absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, he's such an asshole. He purposely cooked pizza without any large amounts of meat on it. Oh my god.
Oh.
The fucking asshole gambit pileup here is so good.
Everyone here just sitting around a table negging each other.
The only one that's missing is Maddie just to scorn at everyone from a distance.
You asked me to make a very human meal.
And you did not disappoint, Snuggle Muffin.
What did you just call him? Let's all just wipe the nickname from our memories, please.
I think she called him Snuggle Muffin.
Oh, don't pout, August sweetie. I know you like it when I tease you. Silly goose, Pooh Bear.
Oh my god, so A.A. Milne still... Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh, the blows keep going lower.
Ah! It's been a while since we've seen August and his duck lips. Charlotte runs her hand down August's arm.
I can go lower than that, Snookums, Jelly Bean.
August wraps his arms around her and pulls her close.
Could a jelly bean pick you up and sling you over his shoulder?
I'd like to see him try.
Oh, enough!
Oh my fucking... Everyone jumps in surprise from Julian's outburst. Julian blushes red as everyone turns to look at him, but doesn't back down.
Are we going to have dinner or not?
Fine, I'll get drinks. Jules, would you like the house special?
No, just wine, please.
My appetite shrinks as I take my seat at the table. Charlotte leaves and returns soon with a tray of drinks. My fears about what Charlotte meant by house special are confirmed when she picks up her own glass. The red liquid is far too dark and viscous to be wine. She winks at me as she takes a sip. August dives into his food with a knife and fork. He has a grin on his face and a sparkle in his eyes unlike any I've ever seen before.
Well, isn't this interesting? Can't say I've ever dined with the sheriff and 2 vampires before, all in one happy bunch.
August is like, this looks like a situation where I can create some havoc. God, you fucking suck. But you suck in a funny way, so don't change. I can fix him, but he's funnier this way. Julian takes a small sip of his wine, then gags a little. He is very clearly not happy.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Charlotte only likes toys while they're brand new. Really? Good thing I'm not a toy then. Would you rather be food? You know, I was curious about that, but I had to decline. When someone sticks me with something sharp, I'm inclined to stick back.
What was that? August, just lean down. Was that a dick joke? Was that a dick joke, August? Don't fuck with me here. Was that a dick joke or not? He waves his knife in demonstration. Charlotte chuckles and runs her hand through August's hair.
Careful, Julian. This one's not prey.
I'd finally managed to start eating, but now I drop my food and slink back in my chair, feeling sick.
What about you, Erica? Have you let Julian taste you yet?
Julian sets down his wine glass with a hard smack.
Don't speak to her like that, Charlotte. Like what? It was just a simple question.
I feel everyone's eyes on me like hot pokers. They're all waiting to see how I respond. The answer is yes. I told Julian to bite me so he could heal my wound. The surprise on both August and Charlotte's face is almost palpable.
You told him? You wanted him to heal you?
I was fucking shot! You know, any port in a storm, right?
I mean, who hasn't been these days? But still.
Most people? What have you been up to while I've been out? I can't say that with certainty anymore. Just walks outside and everyone's like, my arm! Wow. 333 arm injuries. None fatal, but all bullet wounds. Wow, that's weirdly impressive. That's right, it worked quite well. Charlotte seems at a loss for words. I glance over quickly at Julian. Julian smiles as he takes another sip of wine. An awkward silence hangs over the table. I force myself to take a bite of August's pizza. I have to admit that it's quite tasty. August, you're actually good. Is this like wood fried? How'd you manage to do that? Do they have like? Wow, you're a good pizza artisan.
The term is pizzaiolo.
Is it weird that despite not being able to eat cheese or anything anymore, I'm still kind of a pizza snob?
God, I would love a good pizza.
God, right? Sorry, that's what that's what you get. I used to work at like a small time local pizza place that this couple ran out of like the back of their house almost. It's like a separate building right next to their home, and it is fucking delicious. That's it. That's the end of the story.
One of these days we'll have to take like a whole bottle of Lactate and go there anyway.
Honestly, yeah, I absolutely would. I like screw the lactose. I would absolutely do that.
Let's talk about something cheery then. I trimmed the hedge maze today. Does anyone else here enjoy gardening or building mazes?
Yes.
Labyrinths? Puzzles?
I remember the real reason I'm here. I should use any chance I can to gather information. I heard that you and Julian once ran a hotel together in the Ozarks. Is that true?
Together? Well, I purchased the property. Julian managed the place.
You managed the resort on your own, Julian? That must have been a lot of work.
I transitioned to management gradually. I had to go on management hormones.
And which ones are those?
First, we had to get rid of that little gadfly, Brittany.
I remember the strange pieces of info I've gathered about Brittany so far. Julian said he killed her. Liam said he thought Brittany was still alive, and Julian didn't want Charlotte to know. Maybe it's time to poke the hornet's nest. I think I've heard some of this story. Spoke to Liam about it. Liam mentioned that Brittany wrote Julian letters after she left the Rising Star, but you ignored them? Because she had feelings for you that you didn't return. Julian's eyes go wide. He looks at Charlotte, and she stares back at him.
Liam must be mistaken. I never had contact with Brittany after I fired her.
Is Liam just busy playing fucking GoldenEye?
Yeah, he's just in jail playing GoldenEye, not appearing in this route.
Okay, so like the speed strat is to look at the floor, right? And then... As they stare at each other, the air feels charged with electricity. I wait anxiously for the explosion shifting in my chair. But after a long while, Charlotte huffs, and the tension discharges.
Who wants to play a game? I think we have a copy of Monopoly somewhere. Oh, I love Monopoly.
That's a lie. No one loves Monopoly.
And that's why I love Monopoly.
Okay, I believe that actually. You do?
It's like a condensed social experiment about business ethics. I bit my tongue. and materialism.
It's designed to be that way. That's why it was originally called the Landlord's Game and not actually designed to be played for fun. Anyone who plays Monopoly for fun is a fucking sociopath. Case in point.
I think you give the game too much credit. Never mind, it doesn't sound fun anymore. How about poker?
Mind racist. I don't know how much more of this I can tolerate, but if everyone starts playing a game, that'll yield another opportunity. I wouldn't mind a game of poker, but first can I use your restroom?
Of course.
Stands immediately, unable to get out of his chair fast enough.
I'll show you the way. You don't have to go back into that dining room. I don't know what Charlotte's playing at, but...
It's okay, Julian. At least it's more entertaining than staring at my bedroom ceiling. I just need a moment alone. My shoulder's bothering me.
Very well, it isn't far.
Is there one close to your room? Gives me a puzzled expression. Be nice to lie down just for a bit.
Oh, of course. This way.
He leads me down the hall and around the corner to the west wing of the mansion. He stops next to the bathroom door.
Here we are. My room is at the end of the hallway on the left.
Great, thank you.
Are you sure you don't want to stay here? I can tell them you're not feeling well.
No, it's fine. I enjoy poker. Just play the first game without me. Julian nods absent-mindedly, starts to walk away, then stops again.
Why did you ask those questions about Brittany? It's not a story I care to reminisce about. I told you I killed her. I'm not proud of it.
Liam said she's alive. He said she wrote a letter after she vanished, but you didn't want Liam to tell Charlotte.
So you're trying to stir up trouble.
I'm trying to understand what happened. Why did you lie to me? Why did you lie to Charlotte?
Brittany and I were romantic, briefly. Charlotte was jealous. So jealous that she threatened to kill Brittany. I told Charlotte I would kill Brittany myself. I thought it was the only way to make Charlotte forgive me, but in the end, I couldn't go through with it. I told Brittany to leave and never come back. End of story.
Why'd you tell me she was the only person you ever killed?
Because it's a lie I've grown comfortable telling.
That's weirdly introspective of you. All right, okay. Did you work that one out in therapy?
Wait, so now that we know this, does this make Julian the second least worst? Behind Maddie, who is the
in
least
terms of
worst.
actual body count?
Yeah, and general stuff they've done wrong. Because Liam's done a very brutal murder.
Yeah, despite everything, Liam's definitely done it.
Yeah.
Like, despite the reasons, he's definitely murdered
And August's
someone.
done a lot of very brutal murders.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how you weigh Liam murdering one person in order to save someone else.
Versus Julian not murdering anybody.
Okay, but that's not the only salient point here. I feel like, yeah, sure, murder's bad. Let it be known, SKAPR says murder, bad. But weighed against everything else Julian has done?
True.
They're like, I honestly would need to see the balance sheet on that one. Flustered, I turn away from him. He grabs my shoulder.
Erica, wait. Aren't you glad to learn that I spared her?
I don't know what to think. There are too many lies to sort through right now.
Listen to me. The honest truth is that I've killed a few people. 3 people, I think. I don't have a good excuse. They were just accidents. I got carried away.
Well, there you have it. You're not even certain how many.
My memory of what happened before the contingency gets jumbled sometimes. Doesn't that happen to you?
No, it doesn't.
Well, right now I'm being as honest as I possibly can.
Then I want you to be honest about something else. Are you in love with Charlotte?
She's my sister.
But you don't care about that. You love her romantically, don't you? She's jealous of us, just like she was jealous of you and Brittany. I think you're jealous of her in August, too, and she knows it.
No, there's no comparison. Brittany was a dalliance. You are much more important to me.
But if Charlotte wanted to get rid of me, what would you do to appease her?
I would refuse.
I don't believe you.
Erica, I'm serious. I love you, Erica.
Oh, shit!
I know you can't reciprocate, not yet. You're too scared to open yourself up to me, but it doesn't change how I feel.
I'm not scared.
Yes, you are. I know you have feelings for me. I felt them the other night, but you keep them locked tightly away.
You're just trying to manipulate me again. You're playing a new kind of mind game.
I'm not, for fuck's sake. Don't you understand that your fortitude is why I admire you? I can't cast a spell over you. I can't frighten you with my teeth. You're much too strong for that. I only wish you would realize that too and embrace what feelings you have for me.
Yeah.
As I return Julian's gaze, I know that he's right. I do have feelings for him, but I've been scared to admit it. It's easier to claim that he's casting a spell over me. It's easier to blame demonic magic. Otherwise, it's frightening to admit that I care for a vampire. Carepire. This time I look into Julian's eyes. I open myself to my feelings. I let my heart quicken and my skin tingle. I accept the urge to draw close to him. I'm not sure when our lips meet. One second I've decided to accept my desire for him. The next my breath is flowing into his. I can't remember the last time I let myself feel this way, if ever. My inner shields drop. My nerves flare with life and sensation overwhelms me. A few days ago, he drank my blood. It was an otherworldly bond, difficult to comprehend, but now as we kiss, I feel a bond that is pure, earthly, and utterly overwhelming. My body yearns to be closer to his. I want to kiss him forever. I want to pull off the clothes that separate our bodies. Instead, I quickly pull away and try to regain my breath. For a moment, I avoid his gaze. I need to return to my own body and quell the sensations he sparked in it. But when I dare to look back at him, he is smiling.
That's a good start.
You should go back to the others. I'll rejoin you soon. He nods again, then finally leaves. I wait until I can't hear his footsteps anymore, then I take a deep breath. Radical.
Wow, cool clock.
Oh, worm? Okay, so that door isn't openable. Just a plate on a table. I know that's where I like to keep my plates.
Who doesn't?
Okay, so we got 2. Can we go downstairs?
Holy shit.
Holy shit, we got the run of the mansion.
Damn.
Okay, you know what? Just to... I know, I get... I was like, let's get the breadth of it first before I start looking at things, but... I didn't expect us to actually be able to go this far, so I'm kind of like, what? Oh, cool. Yeah, the candle at the end of the hallway. That's where I keep my candles.
Yeah.
That's probably the dining room again. That door doesn't open. This door open? That door does open, so that's probably where we'll go back when we're... No, that's the dining room. Okay. This is the other side of... Okay. So we've got a couple of things we can investigate. Okay, so you don't open... There's a door on the first floor that opens, and both the ones over here open. And then the dining room is right there.
Isn't the first floor one the door out of the mansion?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because that's... Yeah, because every time we're like... Every time we see inside the mansion, we're facing from like right here, so... Yeah, that's the entrance to the mansion. Okay. Let's go take a look up here. I think this is Julian's room. Okay. This door leads to Charlotte's room. Seems probable based on Julian's previous comment that Charlotte's room is next to his.
She hasn't even been staying in her room. She's been using the upper floor of the mansion far from my own quarters.
He implied that normally she remains close to him, so here's my chance to test the theory. I take a deep breath and open the door. Alright, that's Charlotte's room. Let's look in Julian's first. I just wanted the music to come on.
Mystery music.
Painting. Framed portrait of Charlotte in your room. That's...
Oh, Julian. No.
Julian.
Don't.
Julian, why are you like this, my guy? Alright, so there's her vanity.
Oh, no. Oh,
Charlotte.
Oh, no.
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 So I guess we're looking for a matching earring, right? Looks like the sort of place someone might store their jewelry. It'll take much longer to search the drawers and find a jewelry box with earrings inside. A little more rummaging and I find it. There's one single earring with a dangling ruby. It has no partner. Take the earring out of my pocket, hold it out, and compare the two. They're a perfect match. Forget to breathe for some time. I simply stare at the two earrings, fitting together all the implications in my mind. It could be a coincidence that Charlotte lost her earring while walking down Bell Street, near the same rock that Wagner stashed my response to the BRS. But I doubt it. Tears of anger and frustration prick my eyes. I had suspected Charlotte ever since she interfered with the letter at the train station. My suspicions had increased when Wagner couldn't remember who told him to transport my letter. Who else could tamper with his memory in such a way but a vampire? Yet I pushed my suspicions aside, all because I was working with Julian. Thought that surely he would know if Charlotte was involved and he would tell me about it. How could I have been so blind? Can't even blame vampire glamour at this point because I know I've been able to resist it. I know that the pain in my heart right now is very real, and it is very much my own fault. It is my fault for daring to trust Julian at all, and then actually starting to care about him. Put the earring back where I found it. I put its partner back in my pocket, and then I clenched my fists at my sides, letting my pain feed my fury, and stormed out of the room. I calmed myself down before I reached the dining hall. There's no point in charging in angry and confronting them all. Just give them the chance to coordinate their stories. As I puzzle over in my head how I will excuse myself from this awkward dinner party, I hear Charlotte's voice echoing in from the hallway.
Julian, do you mind if I sit this close to August?
I mind if you sit this close to August.
Not particularly. Why would I?
Because I might cheat. By looking at his hand, of course.
I assumed that was what you meant. What else was I supposed to assume?
I take a deep breath and enter. Surprisingly, August is the first to address me.
Erica, finally, I was worried.
You were worried about me?
Of course not. I was worried about myself. You left me in here with two vampires.
Oh, come now. We've been over this. You have nothing to worry about, Snuggle Muffin. We already ate.
You know, Charlotte, I hoped that your nickname would grow on me. Unfortunately, it continues to drive me up the wall. Perhaps you could simply use my name.
A smile flashes across Julian's lips just for a second. Charlotte frowns, looking vaguely annoyed.
Fine. How about Augie?
I'd still keep workshopping it, but...
Shush, you're talking too much.
I can tell that this triggers something in August. He doesn't flinch, not the way you think of someone flinching when they are hurt or upset, but there is an involuntary response that likely only I detect. After all, you learn a lot about someone when you spend 6 months in the same room with them. I guess poker isn't going too well?
It doesn't feel particularly well to bet against the house.
What do you mean, Gussie?
Keep trying.
I think he's referring to the fact that your family keeps the town afloat. Betting against you is like betting against the bank or the government. Even if he wins, you can just declare the money null and void.
We'd be an awful bank if we did that. That doesn't change the fact that you could.
Are we really going to waste the night discussing economics?
Charlotte stands up and drapes her arms across August's shoulders. He barely responds.
I can think of much more fun things we could be doing. Maybe we could shake up this card game.
Is she really, she's really doing this, huh?
I'd rather not.
What's wrong, Care Bear?
Julian just rolls his eyes. Charlotte leans in even closer to August, almost as if she's whispering in his ear.
What's wrong, brother?
This is the final straw for August. He stands up, shrugging Charlotte's arm off his shoulder.
Enough. This has quickly shifted from amusing to embarrassing. I will see myself out.
And just like that, without a care in the world for the vampire he just insulted, August leaves the room and heads into the foyer.
Wait, where are you going?
Charlotte rushes after him. To my surprise, she seems more desperate than angry. I realize that this gives me a very brief chance to confront Julian while he's distracted and doesn't have his sister by his side. I plan to wait, but this is too good. I pull out the earring I found on Bell Street. Do you remember the letter we had to deliver to the BRS?
Erica, this is not the time.
I found this right near where it was picked up. Just now I saw its match up in Charlotte's room.
You went snooping in Charlotte's room. Have you lost your mind?
Julian, she's the one who picked up the letter. Now either she's lying to you or you're lying to me. Don't you dare lie again, just as I'm starting to maybe trust you.
This is all very complicated, Erica. This is not the time to... What is very complicated?
What happened to August?
I decided he could leave.
So he dumped you.
Oh, please. The feeling was mutual. And the line just skipped ahead.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
It was fun until it got boring.
Her eyes focused sharply on me.
I'm starting to think you might provide more entertainment, Erica. Charlotte, don't.
My hand clenches involuntarily around the earring, but it seems I'm too late.
So, you have my earring. Is wealth and jewelry so irresistible that the sheriff has fallen to theft? Still, it's brave of you to snoop around and steal it from my bedroom.
My breath catches in my chest. How much did she hear? Did I make a mistake confronting them now in their home? No, fuck that. Charlotte, I have reason to believe that you're responsible for the disappearance of Jessica Murdoch and Gary Reed.
Whatever are you talking about?
They were lured somewhere by a group calling themselves the Bataille Repatriation Society. I've been communicating with them, and I found this earring near their dead drop. I think you picked up the letter I left for them, which means you're the one sending the letters. Which means...
I get the point. Julian, do you want to do the honors?
What?
Oh, please, Erica, don't play the fool now. You finally figured it out, didn't you? Let's not drag this on any longer than necessary. After all, the game has grown tedious for all of us. Yes, you've been duped. Yes, the truth has been under your nose this entire time, but you were too blind to see it. This is not how we agreed this would go. Yes, well, you haven't exactly followed the plan either.
What are you trying to say, Charlotte?
I'm saying you're right, Erica. You got me. I'm the one who placed all the BRS letters. Congratulations. But you seem to be ignoring my partner in crime.
My heart drops. I don't have to guess what she means. Julian, you knew? You knew all along.
Calm down, Erica. Let me explain. No, Julian, we tried doing this your way and it didn't work. Probably because you stopped thinking with your head. She knows too much. She can't leave, and...
Before Charlotte can say another word, I pull out my gun and point it at her. Don't make another move. I'm putting you under arrest for the murder of Jessica Murdoch and Gary Reed. You have the right...
Oh, come on, Erica. You can't put us under arrest, and we don't have any rights except the right to claim what we can take. This isn't the old world.
I told you not to move. I will shoot.
Erica, don't do this. Listen to him, Erica.
I'll shoot both of you if I have to.
No, you won't.
Charlotte dives toward me, faster than I could have anticipated. I don't hesitate, pulling the trigger the second I see her body start to move. I go to make another shot when I see red in front of the barrel of my gun and realize what has happened. Julian dove in front of Charlotte, taking the bullet for her. His red jacket is wet and darker than usual. I see a small wound on his shoulder, almost in the exact same place I was shot just days ago. I freeze with shock as I watch Julian collapse. I recall the pain he's feeling all too well. Julian! My hesitation costs me. Charlotte grabs my arm with uncanny strength, forcing me to drop the gun. She puts her hand on my throat, but as soon as she starts to squeeze, she winces.
What the?
Her hand touched my silver necklace. I can't resist a quick smirk of triumph. Then she grabs my arms and pins them to my sides. She presses me into her body, facing Julian. She holds me too closely for me to move much at all.
You smell good, Erica. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that my brother was a little entranced by you.
Let me go!
Don't do this, Charlotte. Don't hurt her.
I can't wrap my mind around Julian's objective. First he dives in front of a bullet to protect Charlotte, and now that... Stop.
A jeans bullet.
Oh my god. And now, that's the only kind that Chiaki uses. And now, despite the fact that I shot him, he defends me.
What choice do I have? She's a danger to us. Please, just...
Julian tries to rise to a kneeling position, and then he groans and leans down again.
Fuck. Are you all right?
My stomach turns another somersault. That was a silver bullet.
What?
I wince as her grip on my body tightens, crushing my arms against my ribs. Then she reaches up, grabs my necklace, and yanks. As soon as the necklace is gone, her fingers wrap around my neck.
Charlotte, please stop. This bitch just shot you with silver. If we kill her, more people in town will find out. If she just disappears now, August will know. And then we'll have to deal with him. Who knows where it will end?
I feel her grip on my throat relax, just a bit. It isn't enough to fight against.
So what do we do? I don't know. We need more time to think. We need a plan this time. We can keep her here until we figure this out. You're right. This isn't the time to be hasty. We're here. We might as well take our time and put her in the dungeon.
You have a motherfucking dungeon?
Of course we do. We're vampires.
What? Sure. You know what? Yeah, alright.
There's traps and everything.
Take me away, Renfield. I'm
Secret
done with this
doors.
shit.
There's even wall chicken down there.
Oh, I love wild chicken. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as... I can't remember the whole thing because every time I try to go through it in my head, it does the glitched version of it.
Yeah.
My wrists hurt, my ankles hurt, and my neck hurts. Everything hurts. I have to blink a few times to realize that my eyes are already open. It's too dark to see anything. I try to move only to feel more pain pierce through my body. The sound of rattling chains echoes across the blackness. I'm chained by my wrists and ankles. My belly aches and my tongue feels like dry leather in my mouth. Hello? Anyone there? Someone please? Adrenaline burns on my stomach. What was that sound? Was it human or something else? I consider calling out again, but then I think better of it. Whatever that creature was, I don't want to alert it to my presence more than I already have. I continue to hear strange sounds echoing through the darkness. Sometimes it's a low grumble, other times the sound of chains scraping against stone, but not mine. I sink back into my chains and wish I could go back to sleep, but it's hopeless. My brain is on fire with anger, regret, and fear. How did it come to this? When did I let my guard down enough to let this happen? Julian.
Did you really believe he could fall in love with a human?
A flame flickers to life against the wall. Charlotte pulls away her lighter, then saunters over to me.
Don't get me wrong, you're quite a catch. Beautiful, brave, nerves of steel.
She leans in close, putting her hand against my face, then trailing her nails against my skin.
But stupid. We occupy different levels of the food chain. Any romance between predator and prey is just a fleeting wet dream.
I yank my face from her grip and look away, hoping to hide the tears in my eyes.
Oh, poor Erica. You actually started to care for him too, didn't you? In that case.
She wraps her hand around my neck, which is already bruised from and sore from her previous bite.
Why did you hurt him?
Oh shit, hey Vamp Dad. Charlotte turns towards the strange sound, which seems to come from right behind her.
Whoops, I forgot to lock the door behind me.
As she stands and turns, I see the creature behind her. Even though he has the body and face of a human, I still want to call him a creature. He stands in a hunched pose, arms curled like a feral beast. His hair and beard is untrimmed and wild. But worst of all are his eyes, glowing red with more intensity than Julian's ever have. They stretch wide open as he stares at me, the pupils dilating like a cat preparing to bounce.
Now, I told you to leave Erica alone, Daddy.
He growls and lurches towards me. Only two things stop him. One is Charlotte's hand, grabbing the back of his tattered shirt. The second hindrance is a large pair of chains and balls attached to his ankles.
Balls attached to his ankles, just a giant set of truck nuts. Maybe later you can have her, but Julian's still nursing his ego. If we kill her now, he'll never get over it.
She forces him to turn around and then pushes him out the door. He stumbles into the hall, dragging the balls and chains with him. Charlotte sighs, closes the door, and locks it.
See what I have to put up with around here? It's like an animal house.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh, please, you're a detective, aren't you? When I called him Daddy, I wasn't being kinky, for once.
She saunters back across the room and kneels down next to me.
Erica, as I was saying, I can see why Julian fell for you. There's something special about you. And your blood, it was delicious.
I stiffen as she leans closer to my neck.
Julian tells me you're quite resistant to mind manipulation. I wonder, was he telling the truth? And if so, did his weakness for you simply dampen his influence? Only one way to find out, I suppose.
No, please, please!
We already have a bond, you and I. It formed when I first drank from you. Can you feel it?
Oh, mother! Fuck! A strange sensation floods my mind. It's as if my consciousness was sitting in a dark room, and curtains opened up to reveal a stage nearby with Charlotte standing in the middle of it. Just like in the final 2 episodes of Evangelion. Wait, that was out at this time, right? Yeah.
Was it? I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it was. Now I can see her and she can see me. But not just my body, she can see into my head. It's the bond she was describing.
So here's what will happen next. Julian's still recovering from his wound, but eventually he'll work up the strength to come visit you. When that happens, you'll tell him, how to approach this. You shouldn't get angry and stubborn. That aspect of you appeals to him. He's drawn to your strength. No, I need you to be weak.
She lifts up my arm, chain and all, and brushes my wrist with her lips.
That's right. You're not mad at him. You're mad at yourself. You can't believe you didn't figure me out sooner. You're ashamed of your foolishness. You never loved him. You were just seduced by his good looks, charm, and power. But you are nothing compared to him. You're a stick waiting to be fed into his fire.
As she speaks the words, I can hear their truth. They reverberate through my whole mind, drowning out my own thoughts. I struggle against them, but my efforts are like holding an umbrella to a hurricane.
Yes, you know I'm right. You are weak, helpless, and defeated. You have no purpose anymore. You don't even want to be sheriff anymore. You failed at everything. You'll accept whatever fate we decide for you because now you know who's really in charge. There are no more laws or institutions. There's no rhyme or reason to anything that happens. Only vampires and food.
I'm not sure when her teeth sink into my flesh. There might have been a prick, but it's gone so quickly I only feel the resulting pleasure. For a moment I recall when Julian bit me. His presence was warm and comforting. It was authoritative, but it felt good and right, like a conductor guiding his symphony. This is different. His presence is careless and destructive. She breaks open the dam standing between us, and I feel myself flooding into her. Soon I will drain out completely, and there will be none left. And yet as I cling to my own consciousness, I can feel her thoughts, separate from mine. She lays them bare as she tries to overwhelm me. I catch glimpses of her memories. I feel waves of her emotions. It's hard to make sense of anything, and I know that I'll forget it as soon as I let go, but refuse to let go. I won't, because I know that she is afraid. She fears that Julian truly does love me. No. No. I don't know how many times I say the word. I scream it in my head, and then I scream it aloud. No. Wrong. You're wrong. You are wrong. I hear my own blood splash against the floor as she pulls away from me. Her mouth is bloody, her eyes dazed as she stares at me in shock. I didn't fail. I figured you out, didn't I? I'm not prey to Julian, I am his equal. And his feelings for me are genuine. At every step in your plan, Julian has defended me. He guided your decision so that I wouldn't be harmed.
How?
You knew this for certain when he fought against Freedom's Dawn. You were manipulating Wagner. You wanted to disband the Order of the Line, but when I interfered, Julian chose to help me. He disrupted your plans and defended the Order.
No.
Charlotte stands and scurries backwards, as if from a striking snake. I can feel the hole she left in my wrist still open and bleeding. She made no effort to close them.
It's impossible. How could you?
She rushes out of the room and slams the door behind her. The clatter of the lock bounces through the darkness of the catacombs. I listen to her retreating footsteps until silence returns. Eventually the torch on the wall fades, and blackness floods into the room. My mind grows quiet with everything else. I'm still bleeding, and so tired. I cling to the sensation of victory and follow it into a deep slumber. In the utter darkness, I lose track of time. I fade in and out of sleep. Sometimes I hear the shuffling of my mysterious dungeon companion in the distance. I grow hungry and dehydrated. A small pail of water sits close enough for me to bend down and drink, but nothing more. Eventually, I lap away the last droplets from the pail. At long last, the door scrapes open. Julian walks through the doorway, holding a lighter, then closes the door behind him. Julian! He ignores me as he walks over to light the torch. He winces as his arm lifts. How badly are you injured?
As badly as you, when Giles put a hole in you, but without the aid of any vampire healing, as silver renders that useless.
That bullet was meant for Charlotte. He just stands there and looks down at me, his face a blank slate. Julian, you have to let me go. You can't do this to me. People will find out what happened to me. Enough people know that I was investigating the BRS and working with you.
Then I suppose it will be easy for Charlotte to convince them that you were repatriated.
The coldness of his voice chills me. Is the BRS even real?
Perhaps we have reason to believe that a society exists in the outside world going by that name. Beyond that, we have had no communication with them. Every missive you encountered was a fake.
So you partner with me in the hopes of misleading me.
I partnered with you to keep an eye on the situation, and because I wanted to. I didn't know it at the time, but I was already starting to fall for you.
Even now you would lie to me? If that were true, then you would have told me what you knew about the letters. You would have actually helped me. Instead, you hid things from me. You lied. When you drank from Wagner, you must have kept him from telling me about Charlotte.
Charlotte had already muddled his memory.
How fucking convenient.
I did what I thought I had to do to prevent a war between you two, but now I see that's inevitable. Today the lies can finally stop.
He drops down next to me suddenly, and my heart freezes in my chest. For a moment I fear he will kill me, and then I meet his gaze and I see the tender desperation inside of them.
She's not far away. She's watching to make sure I don't free you.
But Julian, you must. He leans even closer.
I know. How strong are you?
I'm starving. I've lost a lot of blood, but I think I can still run.
Good, because that's what you'll need to do. I won't be able to help you much because you shot me with a silver bullet.
All you need to do is lead the way and I will follow.
Let's hope that's enough.
He reaches into his coat, pulls out a key, and gets to work on my chains.
Run as fast as you can, Erica, even if my sister has mercy on us. My father will not.
Your father? My shackles fall to the ground with a clink.
Now go.
He leads the way, grabbing the torch, then rushing to the cell door and opening it. Then he slips into the hallway. I can't wait to follow him, but my body complains as I rise to my feet. I haven't eaten since they put me down here, and Charlotte drained a lot of my blood.
Now, Erica.
But he's right. It's now or never. I run or I die. I let my adrenaline carry me as I pump my legs forward. Julian doesn't run the way I expect. I have a vague notion of the mansion entrance based on Charlotte's visit, but Julian runs deeper into the darkness, away from the mansion entrance, until blackness surrounds us in every direction.
Julian!
I know she's behind us, but I don't know how far. Her voice echoes against the tunnel walls until it continues to reverberate in my skull.
Julian!
Something grabs my hand. My heart leaps with fear until I realize it's Julian's hand. His fingers squeeze mine as he pulls me onward.
You can't do this, Julian.
But we keep running. We twist left, then right, then left again. I have no idea how he keeps track of where he's going. I feel as if we're racing towards the center of the earth. He groans suddenly and lurches to a stop, clutching his shoulder. I'm tempted to collapse next to him. My legs feel like they're made of jelly. Not even sure how I'm still standing. The loud clink makes us both jolt. What was that?
She's setting him free.
Who? You mean?
Run.
He grabs my arm and yanks us forward again so harshly I almost fall to the ground, but I recover my balance and shuffle after him. The echoes of chains follow behind us, but it doesn't sound like before. These chains are loose, rattling against the ground at a rapid pace. As we continue running, the ground changes beneath my feet. The change is subtle at first, or at least I'm too distracted to notice. And then I realize the ground has become metal. The dirt grows scarcer and scarcer until almost everything around us is metal. What? More shit buried in the ground? I thought it was going to turn into the mines or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But no, this is weirder. Julian takes another turn, and then we see a large door ahead of us.
There it is.
He races towards it, pulling another key from his suit. Then he fits it into the door lock. As he fiddles with the lock, the sound of rattling chains grows ever closer. Julian continues to twist and shake the key in the lock to no avail. Panic stretches across his face. Julian! Finally, the lock clicks, and the door swings open. We both hurry into the room. Then Julian closes the door behind us and locks the huge bolt, securing it into place. We scramble away from the door as something slams against the other side. The creature is scratching and striking with incredible strength, but the door doesn't budge. Trying my best to feel relief, I finally turn and study my surroundings. What the actual fuck? It's a simple metal room, but the lighting is unusual. The glowing rods of light in the walls and corners reminds me of the towers. In the middle of it, there's a large pedestal with a button on top. I approach the button and reach towards it.
Don't.
It pushed me away so hard that I collapsed on the ground. I'm so weary that I stayed there a moment, only sitting up to look up at him with bafflement. What is that?
I don't know.
It's a button. What does the button do? Julian! You said no more lies.
I don't know, honestly. I only know. I know that Charlotte has been here before. She found this room on the day of the contingency, but she never let me inside.
Where do we go now? He looks around the room. The relief on his face is visible as he approaches the second door, opposite the one we entered.
There, our way out.
And if you've never been here before, how do you know that this door would be here?
I didn't. I hoped. If I'm right, this leads into the mining tunnels. Once we're in the tunnels, I should be able to find the exit.
I want to argue about the madness of his plan, but I see no other option. So at last I nod and climb up to my feet. It's just a fucking button in the middle of a room on a pedestal.
You know you want to press it.
I
You know
do!
you want to press it.
Let's hurry then.
Is that the tower activator?
I don't... Have we ever heard Charlotte mention anything about something like that? We know that she knows how to get out of the towers, but that's completely unrelated. How did she get any of this knowledge?
Who the fuck knows?
This weirdly specific and esoteric knowledge about the towers. Is she like the point of contact, or like the one in charge of... I'm gonna just keep calling it Twin Earth. Okay, moonshot theory. It's a terraformed planet. The towers are something keeping like an atmosphere intact. And if they go outside too far, they lose air.
Yeah.
Everything becomes a dark, painful blur as Julian and I drag ourselves onward. He continues to lead and I continue to follow. Once again, I lose track of time. I think that ever since imprisonment, my mind has gotten better at dissociating. My body is like a bag of bricks that I'm dragging with the sheer strength of my will. But finally, we emerge outside and a warm sunlight washes over my skin. Even as I gasp in relief, Julian groans and crouches behind me. After a moment, I realize he's hiding in my shadow. Are you all right?
I'll live, but we need to find shelter.
I look around in a daze. Where are we now?
There's an empty farmstead nearby. It used to belong to Officer Simmons.
Oh, right.
That way.
I follow his finger, and together we wade through the bushes and grass until I find familiar territory. The fact that the room is metal is weird, right? The ground became metal. The room floor was metal. There is metal underneath Bataille. That's fucked up. Is that like the bottom?
I don't know.
Is there no more Bataille past that point? Is that like the bottom of their terrarium? God. Once we're in the house, I search desperately for something to eat. I find some canned beans, rip one open, and eat ravenously. Julian, however, just collapses on the couch and stares up at the ceiling. Would you like some beans?
Oh my god. No, thank you.
If your wound is like a human's, maybe human food would help it heal?
Fine, I'll give it a try.
I bring him a can, then pretend not to watch as he struggles to eat it. I bear the silence for as long as I can, which is not very long. That man, that thing, he's your father? Julian?
He used to be, so it would seem.
So it would seem.
Must we do this right now? I'm trying to eat this disgusting mush.
And I'm trying to understand how the head of the Bataille family has been secretly living underground for hell knows how long, and how he's also a ravenous vampire. I've heard of Gustave Bataille. How can I not? He established the mines. He helped build this town. My understanding was that he and his wife moved to France when the mines closed, and that's where he stayed until the contingency struck.
That's one version of events, yes. I still cling to those memories. He visited the Christmas before last with Mom and a little dog named Luke at his side. They brought us the finest wines and chocolate from France. I remember how slowly the chocolates melted on my tongue.
You like chocolate?
I did in that memory.
Yeah, see?
And then there's another version of events. In the second version, Mom moves to France alone because she grows tired of Dad's obsession with virgin blood. Dad stays here. Liam, Charlotte, and I struggle to keep Dad under control until we can't anymore. We have to lock our own father underground.
Holy shit. Okay, so that discrepancy is fascinating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that means before the contingency, he wasn't even supposed to be here. He is the only person in Bataille that is here that wasn't before the contingency.
The only person that wasn't before the contingency? The only? Are you sure about that?
What are you?
There's two others. Erica and August.
What do you mean? They came into town when
Uh,
No,
right,
okay, they weren't from Bataille. They're outsiders, but they were there when the contingency happened.
right then, huh?
That's true.
Convenient, huh?
I wonder how much we trust that initial sequence, right?
Yeah, me too now.
I gotta wonder. Do we trust that initial sequence? Well, is the body of our friend that came in with us, not
Mhm.
friend, coworker, was also there, right?
Yeah?
Huh. I gotta wonder. That is something worth wondering. But this discrepancy is interesting
Yeah.
because the fact that he's back implies that I would think implies that he had something to do with it. Right? Like why else would he suddenly show up in this weird version of Bataille?
It also seems pretty clear that they weren't vampires before then, and that
Yes.
Liam's whole childhood memory sequence that he told us about never happened.
Right, and that
That
has been
wasn't what-
successfully replaced. And we kind of suspected that since Julian's been dropping these hints for a while now that he wasn't actually a vampire before the contingency.
So what then was Liam's life?
Probably vaguely similar, just without the blood bits. Like from what we see here, the replacement of memories with like with like drastically different, like, oh, this person was here and now they're suddenly not. That is not common.
Mhm.
It's usually just like, oh, you're a vampire now, so you were always a vampire. There's blood instead of candy.
I like the first version best, but it doesn't hold up well with current events.
Julian, you're not making any sense.
Oh, and has anything made sense to you after the contingency?
He swallows a bite of beans quite decisively.
I think you were right. This food, it might have helped. Now I'm going to sleep. Would you join me?
A storm of questions rages in my mind, but I'm so tired. And when Julian reaches out to me, I grab his hand without hesitation. Together we curl up on the couch. The shape is awkward and cramped, but I don't mind. I just want to stay here. My brain reminds me that I'm snuggling up to a vampire, but as his arms close around me, I can't remember the last time I felt safer. Shortly after I close my eyes, sleep rewards me with welcome oblivion. When awareness returns, I can sense that Julian is awake next to me by the sound of his breathing. He must know that I'm awake too, but we both remain quiet as I press into his chest, enjoying his warmth. After a long while,
I think I was taking a nap when the towers rose. I'm not sure exactly. All I know is that when the contingency happened, I woke up in my bed. During that moment, I thought I was a normal human. I was Julian Bataille, 26 years old, son of Gustave and Alice Bataille. Other than being rich, we were all normal human beings, along with my siblings, Charlotte and Liam. But I woke from a dream that felt incredibly real. In that dream, I was a vampire, as was most of my family. And we always had been. The dream disturbed me. I remembered killing people. I remembered Charlotte and Dad killing even more people. It was all bloody and horrific. I considered it a nightmare. And then I walked to the window. I saw the towers, I watched the storm, and I could feel that something was different.
a storm.
It was storming.
Yes, it was.
Charlotte came into my room and threw her arms around me. She was shaking. Maybe she was even crying. She buried her head against my chest. She said, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Nothing will ever be the same again. And somehow in that moment, I knew that my nightmare had become real. We were vampires. My memories of being human were a distant dream. She hit the button.
She hit the button. Why did she hit the button?
You walk into the place.
Okay.
You see the button. You hit the button.
Is that really... That's it? That's the reason? That's fucking wild if true.
Button go beep.
I wonder if you were the only person in Bataille asleep when the towers rose.
I don't know. Does it matter?
Could be a clue as to how the contingency affected our minds. It's like how some people remember Lucius Christ and the rest of us remember Jesus.
And where does this clue lead us? I don't think we can rationalize this, Erica. It's useless to try.
Is that why you believe in a higher power?
What else should I believe? Should I accept Wagner's theories about Chinese or Russian... Wagner? Should I accept Wagner's theories? Sorry. Should I accept Tippy's theories about Chinese or Russian spies planting the towers? No, thank you. Whatever did this, it was a higher power beyond our comprehension.
Something that spoke to us in a dreamlike state while we were in the tower with Liam. And cussed us out, if I recall correctly.
In this reality, vampires exist. Perhaps angels and demons do as well.
Oh, I love Dan Brown novels.
Who can say what else exists?
Charlotte told you it was her fault. What do you think she meant by that?
Charlotte is egotistical. I'm sure she gave herself too much credit.
You didn't ask her to explain?
I knew that she wouldn't, so I didn't bother.
Julian!
I know my sister. She wouldn't have told me.
A chill comes over me suddenly. I move off the couch and stand up, facing away from him. After a moment, he rises to join me.
I'm so sorry for what she did to you.
You lied to me for a long time. I'm not sure sorry is enough.
I turned against Charlotte to rescue you.
You also took a bullet for her. This could be another ruse, a new plan to trick me.
It isn't.
Well, I need more. I need to understand everything. So, all the memories of your vampire dream match this reality, or was anything else different?
It's hard to say. Sometimes when I examine them too closely, the memories become harder to recall.
You'll have to do better than that.
As far as I can tell, yes, this reality matches my nightmare in every detail.
So in this version, your whole family was always vampires.
My father was. My mother, Alice, was human when she bore me and Charlotte. Dad converted her later, but she became unhappy.
And Liam?
He has always been a vampire, as far as I can recall. It's strange because Dad hated other vampires, but he and Alice chose to adopt one anyway. I remember the day he came into our lives. We children were 5 years old. Liam was very friendly, even then. He joined us at the table and drank blood with us. It didn't seem strange to him. It was just as it should be.
How many more vampires exist beyond Bataille?
I don't know. I don't even know if the memories are real, but if they are, Dad wanted nothing to do with other vampires. He never explained more, and he told us to avoid them at all costs.
So, you don't know any more about vampires? How they started, their habits and practices?
I have no idea. I don't think Dad did either, but if so, he told us nothing.
Tell me more about Gustave. He seemed more animal than human. What happened to him?
He and Mom used to hunt together. It started as a source of joy and romance between them, but gradually something changed. I would hear them arguing sometimes. Mom accused him of killing too many people, especially people who were too young. From what I understand, he became obsessed with drinking from virgins on the edge of adulthood.
That's awful.
His obsession kept growing. He would sneak out on his own and return soaked in blood. He was also incredibly strong. None of us could stand up to him. Finally, Mom had enough. She wanted to leave. She tried to take us children with her, but Dad wouldn't let her. They fought.
I can sense him shaking. He takes a few shuddering breaths before continuing.
Eventually, Dad said she could take Liam, and I know Liam wanted to go with her, but he decided to stay. I think he felt obligated to help Charlotte and I control Dad.
Liam has a much different recollection of that.
Is it?
Didn't he?
What was the difference?
Didn't Liam think that Julian came to his aid in that moment? He was like, no, we're family.
Yeah,
And then that was what solidified.
to me, this just felt like two different people's sides of the memory.
Yeah.
Where Julian probably doesn't know that Liam did it because Liam thought Julian and Charlotte cared for him in that moment.
Yeah.
Because they just haven't had that communication.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're saying the same thing.
Yes, we're agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I said different version of it, I meant like they took different things from it.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I apologize.
I thought you meant that it was a totally different scene, and I was like, what do you mean? That seems like the same scene.
No, like the different details were salient.
Yeah.
Okay.
After Mom left, Dad only got worse. After a wild killing spree that attracted the police, even Charlotte agreed that it was time to stop him. It took all three of us to apprehend Dad. We managed to shackle him underground. We hoped that if we controlled his feeding for a while, he might return to normal. But the longer Dad went without blood, the worse he got. He seemed to lose all of his humanity until, well, you saw him. Every once in a while we let him feed. Afterwards he gains a brief sense of clarity. We can almost talk to the man he used to be, but during that clarity he also grows angry with us for trapping him. His hunger returns, and the cycle continues.
I'm sorry you had to do that to your own father, but you made the right decision. Tell me the truth about Jessica and Gary. What really happened to them? Julian, if you hide this from me, I swear to God we are finished.
Dad killed them.
Mother...
It was an accident. We were feeding him samples from the blood bank. He became coherent enough to convince us to release his shackles. Then he ran off. Charlotte found him in the cabin with two corpses. The bodies were Jessica and Gary. Charlotte was lucky enough to find him sleeping. He must have still been drunk off their blood. She was able to put the shackles on him before he awoke. After that, well, you know the story. She planted the letters from the BRS to trick you. I used Maddie to help mislead you.
I think there's more to the story than that. Jessica was researching the train. She also had a book about vampires at the cabin. You say it was an accident, that Gustav just happened to break free and kill her. But there had to be some motive behind it. Jessica was causing you trouble.
It was an accident that happened to work in my favor, but still an accident. I was dealing with her. The only connection is that Jessica visited our mansion so many times, Dad caught her scent. He desperately wanted to feed on her. I think that's why he broke free and went to the cabin in the first place.
And then you just covered it up.
What should I have done instead? Handed over my father in shackles? Can you imagine the chaos?
You're not even sorry for what you did?
I'm only sorry that it took us so long to trust each other, but now you know the truth. Now we can figure out what to do together.
Does Liam know about all this too?
No, not all of it.
Why not?
I think he prefers it that way. We ask him to help, and he does. He rarely asks questions. I've given you a lot to think about. Perhaps you'd like some time alone.
I don't know. Julian, if Charlotte really set your father free...
Then there's no telling what he will do. If we're lucky, he's still trapped in those tunnels. If not...
Is he the one breaking through the tunnels? No, because that wasn't connected to the mine. The mines were on the other side. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He could be murdering people as we speak.
We're both wounded. There's nothing we can do right now other than rest and recuperate. For starters, I'm going to take a shower.
He turns to go. Julian, wait.
Yes?
You said that Gustav turned your mother into a vampire. How is that done?
It requires an exchange of blood.
I see. Once a person is converted, they become as strong as you?
I think so.
You don't know?
My mother's the only example I know. Charlotte, Liam, and I were all born vampires. My mother was very strong. I'm sure that you would be even stronger. And the choice is yours.
He walks away. I remain staring at the carpet, my mind spinning. I always assumed vampires were evil by nature, but if I could use the power for good.
Blood.
I shake my head and fall back on the couch, nursing a headache. You bet you know what we're picking. In for a penny, in for a pound here. While Julian takes a shower, I realize how filthy I am. As soon as I hear him leave the bathroom, I follow after him to take my own. In the hallway, we pass each other. I stop in surprise and feel the heat rush over my skin in every direction. He's wearing nothing but his underwear. God Damn, put some bishy sparkles on that boy.
They're already in there.
Oh, damn. Look at that lens flare. Look at this lad. As I stare at him in surprise, he stares back at me. When my eyes return to his face, I see that his cheeks burn red, but a subtle smile lifts his mouth.
Enjoy your shower.
Ain't slinging much, though.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. He walks away and I hasten into the bathroom. God damn it. Once I'm in the shower, I rinse away the filth and blood and the terror of the last few days. I start to feel like myself again. But I cannot get rid of the sensation I felt in the hallway. The warmth of my body keeps growing and thinking about it only makes it worse. Oh, yeah. I recall the curves of Julian's body, the shining glow of his skin. As the water rushes over me, I imagine him touching me instead. To think about Julian's power. He can reach into people's minds. He can move fast as a bullet. I doubt I've even witnessed the limits of his strength. Is he evil just because he must drink blood to survive? Do all vampires end up like Gustav eventually, or is he the exception? If I became a vampire, could I use my power wisely? Could I accomplish more good than harm? When I'm finished, I don't see my clothes where I left them. I put on a towel and go out to find them. The hallway is empty. Julian, where are my clothes? Make my way around the house looking for him. I follow the sound of churning water to find the washing machine is running. With a sigh, I realize he must have taken the liberty of throwing our clothes in the washer. I make my way to the bedroom, wondering if I can wear the clothes of its previous occupants. I find Julian on the bed, still unclothed. His eyes are closed, his body unmoving. Julian! He doesn't respond. Julian! Not thinking, I rush to the bed and sit down to nudge him. As soon as I touch him, he stirs and looks up.
Erica?
With one word, he seems to switch from being sleepy to awake. His eyes travel from my face to my body. I realize that I'm still only wrapped in a towel, and it slid down when I rushed to the bed. My cheeks burn as I shift to adjust it. Never mind. I was worried when I saw you not moving, but you seem just fine. I start to get up, but his hand falls gently on my arm, guiding me back down.
I'm so tired. This wound, it's fucking horrible.
I'm sorry. I know what it feels like. Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't know. Normally drinking blood would help me heal quickly, but I don't think this wound is normal for me. Perhaps I will eat more human food later.
His hand stays against my arm, brushing it gently.
Either way, your presence helps me forget the pain.
Oh.
Have you thought any more about what we discussed? Do you wish to become a vampire?
My heart quickens in my chest. I look away, my tongue a block in my mouth.
I don't want to pressure you. If you wish to remain human, I understand. I will stay by your side and fight with you, either way. But if you wish to become a vampire, you should do it now, while we're resting. You'll need a couple days for the changes to take effect. After that, you'll need even more time to adjust to them. So, tell me, what do you want?
So, normally on this channel, we're a big fan of becoming human, right?
Mm-hmm.
However,
This doesn't give us the option to become human.
this gives us the option to remain human. And there is no Midwestern city that's a good comparison for that. We are flying blind there. So, I think becoming a vampire like Cincinnati? I don't know. What's the city in Ohio that people hate?
I don't know.
Cleveland. Everyone hates Cleveland. Let's become a vampire just like Cleveland.
Blood!
When I first saw you... Blood. When I first saw you drink from Wagner, I felt a yearning unlike any I've known before. I want to be that strong. I want to overcome my enemies. I want to make sure people like Wagner never hurt anyone again. Perhaps with your power, I can find the truth behind the towers. At the very least, I'll live long enough to see what comes next.
I hope you're right, and I would like to be at your side if such a day comes.
He reaches up to brush my hair from my face. I can see the question in his eyes, almost as if our minds are connecting again. And this time I don't question it. I don't fight my desire. I embrace it. He sits up as I lean down. Our lips meet in the middle, tangling quickly and pulling us both onto the bed. As we kiss, our hands explore each other's bodies. My hand skirts the edge of his wound, slide down his stomach. His hand caresses my shoulders, exploring gently at first, then pushing against the small of my back. He presses my body against his, sending a pleasant ache through the pit of my stomach. He breaks our kiss to run his lips down my chin, and then against my neck. His breath tickles the sensitive skin of my throat. I feel a brief moment of panic. Please don't drink much. Charlotte drinks so much already.
Very well, I'll try not to get greedy.
But even as he speaks, I can hear the guttural desire in his voice. And as his teeth sink into my flesh, my resistance dissipates. Our bodies continue to clasp even as he drinks from me. It is an ecstasy unlike anything I've ever experienced before. I want him to take me and take me completely. But then, just as I'm drowning in sensations of pleasure, he pulls away, his mouth still bloody as he speaks.
Your turn.
He puts his wrist to my mouth and bites gently, then brings the wound to my mouth. Uncertainly, I kiss the wound, then lick. It's neither pleasant nor unpleasant. The metallic taste of blood is strange to me, but my body accepts it. And all the while, I'm pulled closer to him by my desire to feel him against me, the overwhelming urge to become one. After a time, he guides my mouth away from his wound and back to his lips. We wrap ourselves in each other's warmth and follow our instincts into a sea of rapture. Little late for this, but do you have any bloodborne pathogens I need to know about? Whatever.
Vampirism?
I guess? I guess, right? Like, if you have to drink their blood, yeah, sure, okay. Vampirism is a bloodborne illness. Got it. Wonder what it would have been like if we just remained human.
I don't know.
We spend the next couple of days resting and comforting one another. Even though I'm scared of the future and physically recovering, in other ways I experience a happiness unlike any I've known before. Whatever happens next, I'll have Julian beside me. And this fact alone brings me comfort. I continue eating human food, but meanwhile I feel a new hunger growing. It scares and excites me at the same time. My stomach gets upset after eating what must have been my 6th can of beans. Julian finds me hunched over, holding my stomach.
In another day or so, beans won't be enough for you.
Do we get teeth? Do we get stabby teeth in our portrait? Liam told me that vampires can survive on human food.
Not for long. Besides, I question the reliability of that information. As I mentioned, we don't know much about other vampires, and Liam might have stretched the truth to make you both feel better. Either way, you must drink human blood soon to complete your transition.
Oh, we're transitioning. Well, until then, I probably just need to find something other than beans. Anyone would get sick of eating them as often as I have lately. Find a box of old crackers and start eating. Silence between us is filled by the crunching of stale grains until finally, before dawn, we go back into town.
So soon?
We've waited long enough. Gustav might be there killing people as we speak. I shudder to think of what control Charlotte is grabbing in my absence. We won't wait any longer.
Why, Dawn? I'd rather not move around in daylight unless necessary. Soon you'll appreciate that sentiment as well.
Gustav and Charlotte will be stronger at night too. We'll be able to move around more freely during the day. Besides, we should go to the precinct while Maddie, and maybe Mayor Ward are around. They can bring us up to speed. Maybe we can all work together.
Madeline hates me. I can feel her hatred when I'm near her. It's very unpleasant.
Hopefully she'll learn to see the good in... No, Erica! Erica! No, okay. Until then, you just have to endure.
We should free Liam if Charlotte hasn't already.
You think she'll set him free?
Yes, she'll recruit anyone she can to her side.
And you think Liam would help her?
I'm not sure, but I suspect his freedom would be a strong motivation, which is why I'd like to get to him first.
Liam accepted imprisonment willingly.
Yes, and then he grew tired of it. You must understand something about Liam. He is moody. Liam clings to a desperate hope that everyone can learn to get along with each other, even vampires and humans. But my line skipped ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Sometimes he does foolish things in such naivety.
That's not naivete. I share that hope too.
Well, I hope you're both right, but in the meantime, let's be realistic. Charlotte and my father will keep killing people for as long as they're allowed.
Then I guess we'll have to stop them. Hmm. So far, I kind of like the order we played these in.
Yeah?
I get that Liam was last on like the screen there that had everything, but Oh, fuck. That's no good.
Yeah, that seems like somewhat of a problem.
As we approach City Hall, a grisly scene manifests. 2 bodies drape across the yard, covered in blood. Immediately, I know that they're dead. A living person would never sprawl that way. In unison, Julian and I march closer, lean down to examine the corpses. Their throats have almost entirely been ripped out. I recognize one of them as a farmer named Phyllis, the other... Oh no. I stand and turn away, feeling sick to my stomach. I've seen a lot of dead bodies in my job, but this one impacts me in a way I don't expect.
Jeffrey Ward.
The mayor!
Fuck.
Fuck. I glanced at Julian with some surprise. He almost looks as disturbed as I am.
This will disrupt the town a great deal.
Petty jealousy jabs me. I've also been missing the last few days. You know, trapped in your dungeon?
Yes, and you worked harder every day than Jeff worked in a year, but he's a symbol of leadership.
I don't have the energy to keep arguing about how Mayor Ward's death will affect the town. One way or another, he was a decent man and he didn't deserve to die this way. If your father rampaged around City Hall and got away with it, who knows what else he's done?
Let's see if there are any survivors inside the precinct.
Do you need your hat? Your hat, Julian?
Gee, I wish I had thought to bring that with me when I was fleeing for our lives.
So is that a no? Is that a no? You didn't bring your hat? You know what? I'm surprised. None of them may do with like a fucking parasol or something.
Or sunblock.
Oh my god! SPF 30.
It's just like, oh, I just didn't ever think to try. I mean, Vampire's Son, I suppose the legends came before we had SPF. Joke's on me.
At first, City Hall looks abandoned. My only relief is that it doesn't look ransacked, so Gustav must not have come inside. Liam isn't in his cell. The door is unlocked and intact. There are no signs it was forced. Did Charlotte help him escape? Somber, I walk over to my desk and slide down into my chair. Ugh, my nose tonight. Well, I guess it was foolish to hope that anyone would still be here. Town must be in a panic. If anyone saw the yard...
If people hide themselves at home, that's for the best. Gustav's just like the rest of us. He can't go inside any home unless invited in.
So what's next?
What's next is you explain to me why you're suddenly working with these monsters to destroy Bataille.
Julian and I turned to see Maddie crouched near the doorway, teeth bared and ready to pounce. Calm down, Maddie. It's a long story.
I don't feel like hearing a long story right now, Erica. And listen here, I've never fought a vampire before, but I've smashed plenty bullies' faces into the ground. If I go down, I'm taking a piece of you with me. Maybe you should let her attack you, Erica. I bet she would find you difficult to overcome, even now. What is he talking about?
Oh, we've just lost Maddie's faith forever. Don't listen to him, Maddie. Just calm down. Mandy brandishes her fists at Julian.
How many of the deaths are yours, Julian Bataille? I don't know what you're talking about. 7 people dead over the last 2 days, drained of blood and left out to rot. Y'all aren't even hiding it anymore. I guess now that we know what you are, it's time to take what you can get.
Julian had nothing to do with any of those killings.
And how would you know? It might seem like a lot of dead bodies, but what's happening is the work of only one vampire.
His expression softens.
Perhaps 2.
He looks at the empty jail cell.
Maybe even 3, but I doubt that.
There are only 3 of you. Oh, right.
There are only 3 of you, so you confess. 5. There are 5 vampires. 5? That's almost twice as many. Erica, what's going on?
Gustav Bataille, Julian and Charlotte's father, has been here all along. He's the one who killed Jessica and Gary. They normally keep him locked up in the basement of the mansion, but...
That's still only 4.
Suppose I should be the one to tell you. Maddie tightens her fists. We need everything we can get to stop Gustav. Believe it or not, Liam and Julian care about this town. I think in her own way Charlotte does too. Gustav doesn't. He's going to feed until we're wiped off the map.
So you became one of them.
I need this power to save everyone.
There had to be another way.
Somewhere in the back of my head, I know this is true. I push those thoughts away. Even if I didn't need the power, I wanted it. Maddie's will falters. Though she stays in a combat stance, her muscles go slightly limp.
I hope it's worth it.
The only time will tell. Like I said, we need everyone we can get. We also need you.
I don't want to work with him.
Okay, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, I just need you to tell me everything that's happened over the last 2 days.
First, tell me where you've been. You've been gone longer than 2 days. I had to be the sheriff, and I am completely unqualified.
Now you admit it. Why are we... Erica! The fuck? We were recuperating. Charlotte took me prisoner and I shot Julian.
Not in that order, and not on purpose. Well, 2 days ago the murders started. They are brutal, Erica. Throats torn open, arms severed, heads dashed against the pavement. That's Gustav, not Charlotte or Liam. At the very least, they aren't joining him in terrorizing the town. I wonder if she has a plan to recapture him when she cools down.
It's been days. If she's going to cool down, you think she would have already done it?
I don't know.
There's more I want to know about the last few days. Do you know what happened to August?
You really worried about him?
He might have made Charlotte angry before all this happened. I'd like to at least know if he's dead or not.
You'll have to check on that yourself. I have stayed as far from his place as possible. Anything else you want to know?
How did Liam get out?
How do you think Charlotte stormed in here and demanded his release? And then she did that thing I hate.
She glares at Julian intently.
And I didn't really have a choice. Did she bite you? No, but I know she would have if I even gave a hint of resistance. I just gave her the keys. Let's be honest, that whole situation was a bit above my pay grade. You did the right thing. Depending on how angry she still is, she might have done a lot worse than bite you. So, Liam's free along with everything else that's going wrong. Any other questions?
About Mayor Ward. Looked like he died less than a day ago.
I'd estimate 10 hours.
Maddie and I give Julian uncomfortable looks. He clears his throat.
More or less. Yes, I found him and Phyllis when I got here this morning.
And you just left them there, where everyone could see?
I started to move him and then I'm not trained for this sort of thing. I'm sorry you had to see that, Madeline. Erica and I would move the bodies ourselves, but we need to focus on capturing the man, the creature, that did this. If the task is hard on your mind, I could help.
His hand moves toward her ever so slightly. She flinches and raises her fists again.
Don't you dare. I'll do it, okay? I'll move the bodies. What else do you want from me then?
That's all I need for now, though I'd ask you again to join us.
What did I just say? I don't want anything to do with him. Will I ever be able to apologize enough? Probably not.
And that's completely reasonable. Will you at least coordinate with us? We're gonna go and figure out what's going on. Take a radio, and if you hear anything, we'll check it out. If we need you to contact anyone else, you can do it from here. Does that work for you? We're trying to save Bataille, Maddie.
Fine, just you keep the radio. Don't give it to Julian.
That works for us. I'll let you know if we find anything. Maddie puts up with too much shit in this route. We're like, we don't deserve Maddie and Madeline.
Yeah.
Really. She is being a fucking angel right now. Hey, Maddie, can you put aside the fact that this person did a whole bunch of things to your body against your consent? And just, work. Can you get past that for us real quick? Thanks, boo. And Julian's like, will I ever be able to apologize enough? You haven't apologized once! Fucking asshole!
Well, I figured I'd check before I started. Save everyone some effort.
Ah!
Interesting.
Okay. So... Interesting.
Seems like we've got a couple we can do.
Interesting. Let's talk... Okay, so the guide is telling me that some things will lead to something else. I don't know about the other ones, so let's talk to Augie first.
Yeah.
How you doing, Augie? Thought it was gonna make us run around the whole town,
That would rule.
waiting for the moment when suddenly Bataille becomes an open world game. What's up?
Spires Online.
Oh my god.
Vampire Online.
Spire Art Online. Yeah?
Erica, you're alive. August. And you're still with him.
You thought I was dead?
Erica, you disappeared after our dinner at the Bataille mansion. It was a logical assumption.
Okay, I made it out.
I'm so glad.
You are?
This town would be even more boring without you in it. Honestly, I'm surprised that Charlotte let you live. I thought that for sure after that disastrous dinner, you would be the first person she lined up in front of our father. Your father?
It's been a long couple of days, August.
I've stayed inside, and I have not invited anyone in, so you'll forgive me if I'm a little behind on current affairs. Can I come in? Absolutely not. I suppose that's fair. I might change my mind if you tell me a little more about this father of yours. He is mad with bloodlust and is not nearly as careful as the rest of us. If he catches you, you're likely dead.
He's killed several people in the last few days.
Well, I hope you manage to get him under control before I run out of food, because I am going to continue to stay here and not leave the house.
Yes, you're wise to lay low until then. Julian grabs my arm and gently pulls me aside.
Are you sure about this, Erica?
Sure about what?
From what I've heard about this man, he might be useful to us.
August? Useful?
You know what I mean. He doesn't act like it, but you tell me he is a brutal man, perhaps more brutal than me or even Charlotte.
We don't need someone like August Flynn. We're trying to bring some order to this town. He's just gonna cause chaos.
What are you two lovebirds chatting about? Something too important for my ears?
It's nothing. We're just glad you're okay. I'll let you know when Charlotte and her father are under control. Might even take you back into custody.
I look forward to you trying.
Where should I go next? We're gonna talk to Stacy next.
Yeet.
Hey, Stace. How's it go? I wonder if we have to get invited into our own home now. I wonder how that works.
Yeah, I suppose it depends if it's our home or if we're just staying at someone else's.
They always described it as crashing at Stacy's place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We'll see.
Do you think that,
Love can bloom even on a battlefield? Yes.
do you think vampires are more effective in, countries that have a big hospitality culture? So it's like expected to invite people in and serve them like a nice cup of tea and a bunch of stuff.
That's wow.
As opposed to places where it's fine to just be like, nope, don't come in, stay outside, like the US.
Vampires have a lot of roots in like European folklore, right?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see whether that coordinates with hospitality culture. That there is like a research paper. It's probably not a good one, but there is one you could do there.
I knew someone who did their thesis on vampirism
Wow, that's rad.
for an English degree. Pretty fucking cool.
When I knock on the door, I almost hope that Stacy isn't home. She would never approve of what I've done to myself. When the door starts to open, I panic. Will I even be able to enter the house? I was invited before, but will I need to be invited again? My fears disappear when Stacy appears, eyes wide, and rushes out to embrace me.
Thank God you're alive.
Were you really that worried?
Of course I was. You've been gone for days, and with everything that's been going on in town, I've been praying so hard for you. And it looks like God heard that one.
Yeah, well, make sure you stay inside and don't invite anyone inside. Especially not Charlotte Bataille, Liam Bataille, or a feral-looking old man.
Oh, but this old man, what if he really just needs a helping hand?
Stacy! No! Bad! I resist the urge to slap my own forehead. Even God would not want you to help this old man, Stacy. Just trust me on that.
If you insist. And Julian, are you still with him?
Julian clears his throat. Apparently, in her excitement, Stacy didn't even notice that he was there in the narrow shadow of the house, shielding himself from the sun.
I'm right here.
You can trust Julian. He's on my side.
So, Julian, you're isolated from your own family right now? I'm so sorry. Where have you two been?
I went to the Bataille mansion. I might have made Charlotte very angry. It's a long story.
Are you okay?
Let's just say I'm better than expected based on everything that has happened.
I hear that several people have been killed round town. Do you know anything about that?
It's my father. Charlotte let him loose on the town, and he's not particularly well socialized anymore.
You don't mean he's the one killing folks?
Erica and I plan on stopping him by any means necessary because I fear he is capable of destroying this entire town.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Do you need any help from me?
I don't think so.
Julian, that's a little rude.
I just don't want her to get hurt, which I suspect would be the result if she comes with us.
Julian's probably right, you know.
I know, but this is my hometown. I want to do something other than just pray.
You've never invited any of the Batailles other than Julian inside this house, correct?
I don't think so.
Keep it that way. We'll be able to use this place as a safe house.
Okay, will do.
Where should I go next? All right. So all of these will lead to a similar result, and I'm being told by the guide that the clinic is the most interesting IMO. So we'll do that.
Which makes sense. Maybe we'll have a little sippy.
Have a little sippy. What if Kathleen fucking died?
Oh, that would be a problem. I mean, phlebotomy can't be that hard. Trial and error, you'll get it soon enough.
As we approach the clinic, we notice something is a little off. The lock is torn from the door, which hangs open. Cautiously, I step inside and call out, "Kathleen, are you here?"
What do you need, Sheriff Wright?
Good, you're all right.
I wouldn't say that. I had to stitch up some very strange injuries overnight. They look like claw marks. Julian, do you know anything about this?
Yes, unfortunately. My father must have fed enough that he's slowing down. I'm surprised he let anyone get away.
Your father? Julian, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about?
You can stop with the pretending, Kathleen. Erica knows. She knows everything.
Kathleen is quiet for a moment. I knew she had been deceiving me before, but I wasn't sure just how much she knew. Rather than contrition, though, she reacts with anger.
Everything? Apparently I didn't even know everything. Your father...
Yeah, she did. She figured it out. Didn't she?
Did she?
When we talked to her another route, she was like, I can do the math based on how much blood they take. And right?
Still, that's not the same as her having been told the truth, I suppose.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
I know. I fucked up. I understand that more than anyone.
Is he the one causing these attacks?
Yes.
Well, great. If someone comes in here with a more serious wound, we're going to be in trouble because we don't have any blood.
Wait, what?
Your brother was in here yesterday. He took it all. I sure hope he has his own properly cooled fridge.
I'm sure he does.
If you see him, please tell him that with everything going on, I might actually need that blood for its legitimate purpose. Now, do you need anything else, or can I get back to cleaning up the mess in here?
I would appreciate an apology.
What for?
You could have been upfront with me before. You could have saved me a lot of time if you just told me what you knew about the Batailles. I'd already figured out what they were, and I thought I made that clear.
Unlike some people, I was trying to keep things as calm as possible in this town.
Just keep this place safe and don't invite anyone new in. It's bad enough the 3 vampires we knew about could come and go here. What is Liam doing? Is Liam being smart and gathering the blood away from his father?
That could be.
Might actually need some of it for its legitimate purpose. Hey! Suddenly I hear a suspicious noise behind me. I spin and draw my gun, ready to fire on one of the few silver bullets I still have. I expect Gustav or even Charlotte, but instead, Liam freezes, surprised that I was able to catch him before he caught me. Don't take another step. I have silver bullets.
She's not lying, and they do hurt quite a bit.
I'm not here to hurt you. I think Charlotte wants me to hurt you, but that's not what I want, so don't make me do it, okay? Okay, so if you're not here to hurt me, why did you sneak up on me? Liam and Julian exchange wary glances. I remember the argument they had back at the precinct. I just wanted to see what you were doing. Why are you out here? Don't you know what's going on?
We know exactly what's going on.
Of course you'd know, Jules. You've seen this sort of shit before. Too many times. Charlotte is very angry, but Charlotte's been very angry before. Dad is out of control, but Dad has been out of control before, too. And how do you deal with it last time? Wait, let me think. Don't tell me it's on the tip of my goddamn tongue. Oh, right, I remember. You said, how about we lock up this crazy vampire in the dungeon and try to forget that he exists? Guess that didn't work out so well for us, now did it?
I take some responsibility for what happened, but now I want to fix it. Our hope is to find our father in the daytime and find some way to deal with him.
I already have a plan, all right? I'll take care of it. Does your plan involve killing him? Wait, you actually want to kill him? That's right. Liam stares long and hard at Julian, eyes narrowing. Jules, you want him dead?
Want isn't the word I would use, but I believe it's our only solution to this problem.
Too bad I gave up on making a time machine. I'll put you in it, send you back, and we could all have killed him 10 fucking years ago. Which I suggested, by the way. But you and Charlotte didn't want that. No, you thought we should just lock him away and forget about him. Well, I never forgot. So I've been his jailer ever since.
I'm sorry about that. If you could build a time machine, maybe I'd agree. But we're stuck with our mistakes. Now I understand that
Sorry, killing him is the only solution.
killing him is the only solution.
Your father has killed several people, Liam. We have to stop the violence. You want to stop the violence by killing someone. The cycle never fucking ends.
We'll end it this time. For good.
I already have a plan. Once he drinks enough blood, he starts to regain his senses. We can talk to him. We've convinced him to let us imprison him before.
Yes, and he's convinced us to release him, too.
Well, we've learned our lesson about that, and he's learned a lesson too. I think this time his more bestial side is being careful. He's not fully satiating himself. He remembers the safest way to stay free is to feed intermittently. He isn't getting full enough to regain his senses or fall asleep.
None of this sounds like a plan, Liam.
I stole all the blood from the clinic. I've got it in a refrigerator truck out near the dollar store. He can control himself after he kills, but he can only get so much blood from one body. But he'll never be able to resist drinking his fill from these. That's when we talk to him, or if he falls asleep again, we sneak up on him like last time and do what we have to do. Is that true?
If he's been spacing out his kills, he might be able to avoid reverting to a more docile form. However, with all the blood that's been stored at the clinic, yes, that will likely placate him. And it's very probable he won't be able to stop with just a few bags if they're all in front of him.
And then what?
I suggest the silver bullets.
Julian, are you sure you want to kill him for good?
I already said so, didn't I? Why are you belaboring the issue? I thought you of all people would be the happiest to see him dead.
If you'd asked me to kill him years ago, I wouldn't have hesitated, but now we've spent so many years trying to hide him away, hoping he would get better. I guess I held on to that hope for too long, and I'm so tired of seeing people die.
We already waited too long. Now we need one death to prevent more.
What about
Kill
Charlotte?
the one to protect the many.
She's the one who set him free this time.
Charlotte was very mad at me. By now she should have cooled off. She's smart enough to know this can't continue, too.
Are you sure about that?
No. But as long as we do this during the daytime, we'll have an advantage against her at least. She hates the sun even more than me.
Well, all right then. Are we really doing this? We both nod. Then let's go get the truck. Thunder.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Thunder. Oh, wow, wow, wow. I know something is off as soon as we see the refrigerator truck parked in the lot at the dollar store. It feels like an unsettling chill surrounding the area. I don't know what it is at first, but Julian and Liam do.
Erica, be careful. Charlotte's here too. She set you free, didn't she, Liam? Does she have any way to track you?
I don't know. She gave me a walkie-talkie so she could coordinate with me. Are you serious, Liam? I forgot I had no intention of working with her on this.
All things considered, it's good news that she came here instead of coming directly after us. If she's thinking about the blood supply, it means she's not thinking about revenge.
So what's the plan?
Let me talk to her. No one knows her better than I do. Maybe I can get her to calm down and realize the gravity of her mistake.
Yeah, maybe we can solve this without violence after all.
With Charlotte, maybe.
Julian motions for Liam and I to stay back as he approaches the truck. Liam complies, but I carefully follow behind.
Charlotte, I know you're here. You can hide from a lot of people, but never from me.
After a few seconds, Charlotte emerges from behind the truck. She's angrily picking at her nails and staring at Julian.
So, you both have turned against me, even you, Liam, after I freed you. Don't talk to him, you're talking to me now. I can't believe all of this, Charlotte. You let our father free. You knew what he would do after last time, and you still did it. As far as I'm concerned, that's a problem for you and your new sheriff friend. Wait.
She sniffs the air for a moment, then starts walking towards both of us.
Something is different.
Charlotte stares at me, then her gaze darts back to Julian.
Julian, did you? Yes, I turned her. She's one of us now, or she soon will be. If I'm being honest, I thought it was the only way I could protect her from you. I simply don't know what to say. I never expected this kind of irresponsible and treacherous behavior from you. You were supposed to be mine, all mine, and then you went off and made another for yourself. I didn't make her for myself. The more we've fought, the more all of this has been going on, I realized that Erica and I are equals. She didn't just back down in front of me, and she didn't back down in front of you either. I remember, and that's why it's all the more unbelievable that you did this. You knew I wouldn't approve. You knew I'd be furious. You knew that I could cut you out of my life forever, and yet you still did it. Whatever you're going to do, do it to me, not her, and wait until we deal with Gustav. Oh, I think in the back of my head I do believe I should punish you, but that would be boring. So dreadfully boring. What? Because this, all of this, is so incredibly exciting in comparison. I've never seen you stand up to me like this before. I loved you how you were before, but this might even be better. Don't do it again. I might actually get mad then, but I like your choice. She's exciting too. You're not mad now? I always understood what you saw in her, but now that she's one of us, I can see that she's even more beautiful than I thought. I don't like competition, but not everything has to be a competition.
So according to the guy, this won't affect anything. Do you have any preference?
Not really.
Let's try to get him back on track.
Oh, yeah, right. We're supposed to be saving the town. That's important.
I'm right here. Could you please stop talking about me like I'm not right here? Julian shoots me a worried look, but doesn't make any effort to stop Charlotte as she steps closer to me.
You're feisty, Erica, right? I like that. You've inspired something new in my dear brother. And I suspect you'll inspire something new in me, too.
Just wait till Charlotte route.
Gee, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
That was the last thing I expected to hear. She gets closer and yet gently places a hand on my cheek. Unlike every other time she's been this close to me, there's no violence in her touch.
But we can figure that out later, once we've solved the problem of our dad.
So, you're ready to admit you made a mistake in freeing him.
He's going to destroy our whole blood supply. Of course I made a mistake. I'm not angry now. I was very angry then. It was a reckless thing to do, though ultimately I'd argue it brought us all closer together.
You're not going to like this, but we think it's time for a permanent solution to your father.
You're probably right.
I am.
There's one more of us now, and we don't know how long we'll be trapped here. The last thing we need is for Dad to go around making blood a non-renewable resource. It pains me to do it, but his behavior on this latest excursion into town solidifies the problem.
Don't worry, we have a plan to weaken him so we can finish the job.
Oh?
That's why Liam stole all the blood from the clinic. We're going to tempt him into gorging himself and take him down.
You know, he could become lucid again and try to talk us out of it.
That's why Erica has the gun and the silver bullets.
Erica, are you sure you can do it?
Weird how quickly she switches over to treating us like an equal, right? Like super fast.
Like I said, predator prey. You've changed sides. Fair enough. Fair shakes.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So where will we be able to find Gustav? I don't think he's gonna come looking for blood at the dollar store.
I'm surprised you don't already know.
The abandoned cabin on the other side of the river.
That's where he took Jessica and Gary to feed on them. It's out of the way, near the towers. No one would ever look for him there.
He made it his base once, so it's the best place to start.
I can go back to the mansion to keep watch there in case he tries to come back home.
I doubt he will. He's feral, not stupid.
No, it's a good idea. We should have all our bases covered.
Thanks. Keep you posted. Vampire family. do, 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 do. That's the song. That's how it goes. We're all like one big family here, Erica. Don't say that, Julian. Not after we...
God,
Especially
no.
not after we...
God,
No.
no.
The three of us get into the truck and begin a slow drive to the abandoned cabin. Julian and Charlotte are uncharacteristically quiet for the first few minutes, until...
Why did you let him off so easy? What do you mean? Liam, we could have used his help. Liam even said that he wanted to kill him years ago. I think we've dirtied his hands enough, don't you? You've grown soft. Maybe I'm just hardened to different things. Are you teasing me?
I'm right fucking here.
I know. Please try and stay focused, Charlotte. Even if everything goes according to plan, this is going to be very difficult.
They go quiet again until we arrive at the cabin. Julian parks the truck in the driveway and Oat throws open the doors to the refrigerated compartment in the back. Maybe I should have asked this before, but does blood go bad? Just leaving the truck open like that and...
That blood is probably looking pretty good, isn't it? Afraid there won't be enough for you after we're done?
It's not at all what I was asking.
Don't worry, it's still edible. Even after it isn't usable for transfusions, it will last a few hours. If Gustav is anywhere near here, he'll smell it as it starts to warm. You'll get the scent too, Erica. I hope you can resist.
I'm pretty confident that I can. I don't smell anything yet.
Just wait.
I know that the blood in the truck isn't the only thing that Gustav will be able to sense. On some level, I suspect he'll know that we're here. Three of us remain quiet as we wait. We don't want to draw any more attention to ourselves. We want Gustav to focus entirely on the truck. It's hard to read the tension between Julian and Charlotte. She is clearly unhappy with him, but it's nowhere near the rage she felt before. It takes at least an hour, but then I hear a rustling in the trees nearby. The first part of the plan plays out just like Liam wrote it up. Shambling from the nearby woods, Gustav approaches the truck. He awkwardly hauls himself up to the back and begins to ravenously drink from the variety of blood packets. At first, he moves like no living creature I've ever seen. His motions are erratic, asymmetric, almost dizzying in their internal consistency. The more he drinks, the more he looks human. After a few minutes, his shoulders slump and his spine straightens. His arms stop trembling and his legs steady his twisted frame.
This is it. This is our chance. His senses will be dulled and his strength restrained. Now's the time to take the shot.
I reach for my gun and I ready myself, but I'm not sure I can do it. Gorged on blood and in the heat of the late afternoon sun, Gustav is nothing but an unarmed man. I'm not sure I can shoot just an unarmed man. And then I remember, I'm a cop. Though that's not the thing that really stays my hand. He knows about the mines.
What are you waiting for?
They were closed before either of you were even teenagers. He saw them when they were open. Anything built down there in the last 50 years was done with his knowledge.
Erica.
If he's lucid, he can tell us about the towers.
You have got to be kidding.
If we're gonna kill him, this is my one chance to ask him anything about what happened to Bataille.
It doesn't matter, especially if you're dead because you hesitated. When was the last time he was lucid? When he convinced us to let him go? What about before that? What's your point? It was before the towers rose. Erica's right. We need to talk to him. We need to figure out what he knows. It might be our last chance. It's a terrible idea, but I'll be here if you need me. I'd hate for something to happen to Erica before I have a little fun with what she's become.
Julian and I carefully approach Gustav as he continues to gorge himself. I understand what Liam has told us correctly. He will eventually drink so much that he passes out. We need to talk to him before that can happen.
Gustav, Dad?
Gustav stops feeding. I ready my hand on my own gun again, but he doesn't attack. Instead, he just turns around to face us. He doesn't look like the monster I glimpsed earlier. His feral features have recessed back into his body, though his form is still somewhat strange and unsettling. Julian, I am so sorry.
I've heard that before.
Gustav takes a step towards us. I draw my gun. As curious as I am, I won't take any chances right now. Hold it right there, Mr. Bataille. You think I'm afraid of a little gun like that?
It's loaded with silver bullets.
So it has come to that already, then. Time to take me back to your dungeon. Let me go wild again and imprison me until one of you has some foolish reason to let me go. Quite frankly, I'm glad you were raised by the help. If I'd done it myself, I'd be disappointed in myself.
Shut up.
What is this about, Julian? Either put the shackles back on me, shoot me, or let me walk away. We have questions for you. Oh. And you are... Wait. Julian. You've added a new member to our family, haven't you?
That's none of your business.
Isn't it? It's my blood that runs through her veins now. That's the kind of connection you always needed from a partner, wasn't it?
I told you to shut up.
Oh, but you said you had questions. I'm confused. Should I be quiet or answer your questions?
Whatever Erica asks, tell her the truth.
So, did you build the towers? Did I build the towers? Do you really believe I have the capability to make something like that, let alone 36 of them? You were at one time the most powerful man in the city. You had access to the mines. You certainly had the money. I am not who you think I am. I inherited a dying business from my father, and I did everything I could to use what I still had to secure a comfortable future for my family. I didn't have the time or the resources for such a strange vanity project, nor the technical know-how to make something so alien, strange. You had nothing to do with them? Surely you know something about where they came from, though. I know that they are protecting the people here, giving my children a safe population of people to feed on. You were right to ask, though. I understand why you would. Perhaps my father or grandfather is responsible with some arcane knowledge that has been lost to time. Did you ever see them before the contingency? Were they somewhere down in Earth? I actually never went in the mines. Why would I? I could pay people to do that for me. If any of them saw the towers, they never told me. It seems very implausible that this is all you know. I have no reason to lie to you about this. If you have silver bullets, I'm fairly sure that one of us is not making out at this moment alive. Now, is there anything else you would like to know? How do we get out of Bataille? Out? Why the fuck would you want to get out? I don't know about you, but I'd rather not be trapped here. You have no idea what's out there. Do you?
I told you to answer her truthfully.
The world is changing. You have everything you need to live out your life here. The world is changing. There's fresh water from the river. Anything you can't farm, the train brings every week. If you don't know what's happening outside the towers, the safe thing is just to stay here. You're dodging the question. What is happening outside the towers? Something that is so terrible that it requires the towers. Other than that, your guess is as good as mine. Your answer is the same as Freedom's Dawn? I refuse to believe that you're so ignorant. You just trust that the towers are here for a good reason? You don't even question it? I suppose I don't. Do you want to know anything else? You are nothing like the creature I saw in the dungeons of the mansion. Why don't you stay like this? I don't stay like this because my children lock me in the basement and deprive me of the blood I need.
You overindulge, Gustav. You kill too many people. You have no restraint.
I am what I am. You may very well be the same in 30 years.
I don't think so. Even you realize sometimes you need to be restrained. One time...
That was a ploy that you didn't fall for. I suppose you can be clever.
You fucking...
Don't talk to your father like that. Isn't there some middle ground? If you know that overfeeding will get you put in the dungeon, why do you still do it? You think things are such a simple binary, but you do not understand. Like I said, you may have to understand once Julian gets older.
I will take care to make sure that never happens.
You two shall see. Anything more? No, you're not telling us anything we don't already know. I'm sorry that I'm not the font of knowledge you expected. Perhaps you should reframe your expectations.
Enough, he's just buying time. I'm sick of this. Do it, Erica.
It's still hard for me to pull the trigger on what is essentially an unarmed man. I know I have to do it, but I'm surprised that you didn't ask one more question. Maybe it's not relevant to you, Erica, but how did you fail to broach the subject, Julian?
What are you saying?
You didn't ask me about my memories. You never have. Julian freezes up. Then he holds his arm out, lowering my gun.
Wait a minute, Erica.
Are you a human dreaming that you're a vampire? Or are you a vampire dreaming that you were once a human?
Dream of the
Zhuangzi.
butterfly. Pew, pew, pew.
Hey, I feel like that one goes on the bingo card now.
Yeah,
It's more video games in general, but it's shown up enough that it can go on the VN bingo card.
Good old Zhuangzi.
Yep. You must be curious of what I remember.
Gustav, Dad, you have to tell me.
I don't have to do jack shit. He betrayed me. Julian steps toward him, arms flailing again by his side.
I must understand if I'm ever going to know
If
peace.
there's anything I can tell you for sure, Julian, it's that you will never know peace. What would it really tell you if I confirmed your memory one way or the other? It would not rid you of your doubts. It would not take away your other history or anything that might make it more painful. And what if I told you something entirely different? What if I suggested that both sets of memories were wrong?
Just tell me.
You don't deserve to know. And you don't deserve the eternal life I've given you. And just like that, Gustav lunges forward. He seems to revert to the feral state we saw before, eyes mad with fury. He grabs Julian by his jacket and throws him to the ground. Even stained in the middle of the day, he's surprisingly strong. Julian tumbles into the grass, then Gustav comes for me.
Erica, watch out.
I hesitate. I know I only have so many silver bullets, and if I don't hit him where I need to, I won't end this today. Gustav grabs at my throat, and my grip on my gun falters. I almost drop it, but carefully maintain my grip.
Dad, stop.
Charlotte draws her weapon on him and approaches.
Let her go.
You two. I always liked you, Charlotte. You knew what we were. You knew what we had to do. I can feel Gustav's fingers loosen around my neck. He didn't expect his daughter to turn on him along with everyone else.
Erica, now, do it.
Before Gustav can reaffirm his grip, I raise my gun and do what I have to. 2 shots, right in the heart. Oh, mother. Fuck. Gustav stumbles backwards and clutches at his chest. I wonder if it's enough. I don't have any more bullets. You have no idea what you've just done. I can see his already pale skin turn a sickly gray. He falls to the ground just as Julian manages to get back to his feet.
Dad.
He looks back at me.
You really did it.
I did what had to be done.
Dad, tell me what you remember. Tell me what I am.
What you are. Julian, you are a Bataille. His eyes flutter close. His breathing stops. Before I can even kneel down to be sure he's dead, his body begins to turn to ash. He's gone in less than a minute, scattered into the wind. What the fuck? That doesn't seem the same as Liam's misting thing.
Yeah.
But a long, horrible silence follows Gustav's disappearance. Liam staggers out of the trees. He's out of breath like he's been running. I wonder if he came toward the sound of gunshots. Is he? The look on Julian and Charlotte's faces says it all. Liam collapses against the cabin and buries his head in his hands. I think he might be crying, but he's hiding it well. Charlotte's chin wobbles ever so slightly. Then she turns to Julian, reaching for him.
Julian.
But Julian is like a statue, gaping mindlessly at the last of his father's dust, floating to the sky.
Julian, love.
As soon as she touches him, he flinches and pulls away. He looks at me. He looks at Charlotte, but his gaze is like that of a startled rabbit's. And just like that, he turns and bolts away.
Julian.
Julian! Our shouts overlap. We turn and glare at each other.
Now just look at what you did.
What I did?
You convinced us to kill our own father.
Oh my god, he decided it too. Each one of us did, and it was the right decision. Don't turn that blame on me.
But you were the one who ruined everything.
You're the one who released a feral vampire.
You just... Oh.
The furious growl, Charlotte swirls around and storms off. Liam and I are now the only ones left. He stays in his corner for some time. I stand and stew in my own frustration. And then finally, Liam pulls himself together and straightens up. He wipes his eyes, straightens his clothes, and walks towards me. They're not ready to say it, but I will. Thank you, Erica. You and Julian, you've gotten pretty close, huh? I thought so, but it was a big deal for him. I'm amazed you even got him to the point where he could make this decision. Do you have any idea how long I tried to convince him and Charlotte that Gustav should be put out of his misery? A long fucking time. So I gave up. He's just in shock now. Give him some time. I guess you're in shock too. A lot has happened over the last few days. Still find it hard to believe that you're one of us now. Julian said I would need to drink from someone else to complete the conversion. Yeah, I think so. Honestly, none of us have much experience with the conversion, but I doubt you need to rush it. When the time is right, you'll feel it. You need a place to stay? I guess I could go back to Stacy's, but after all that's happened, it doesn't quite feel like home anymore. I don't know what does. My world is turned upside down again. I was supposed to be the sheriff protecting the people of this town, and now I've joined the vampires. Do you want to stay at the mansion? We have plenty of room. That's tempting. I want to be close to Julian, but I'll wait until he's ready. All right. The invitation stays open. Remember that Liam's supposed to still be in jail. Remember that it's my responsibility to put him there. It's so ridiculous I almost want to laugh, but I can't. What's wrong? Nothing. I'll see you later. Somber, I turn to make my way back to Stacy's. Stacy's overjoyed to welcome me home, but I find it difficult to share her enthusiasm. I struggle to explain what happened or my own feelings on the matter. I just want to be alone and sleep, but I can't sleep either. The memories of the last few days play and replay in my head. When the replays stop, I wonder about the future. I no longer feel like a sheriff. I can no longer pretend to abide by the rules of the old world. Maybe it's time for me to step down, but before I leave my post, there's one more thing I need to do. The next day, I tell Maddie to help me gather the inhabitants of Bataille for an announcement later that night. I help her spread the word, and I also stop by the Bataille mansion to tell Liam my plan. Liam tells me that Julian is still mourning. That night, the people of Bataille gather around City Hall. I stand high before them. People of Bataille, for the last few months, it's been my honor to serve as your sheriff. I've done my best to serve and protect you. I've labored to maintain and uphold the laws of our country. Mayor Ward, he tried to maintain peace in this town to the best of his ability, but he is no longer with us. We can no longer live by the laws of the old world. Our nation's government is gone. Our world consists of a few square miles, and governance shifts to the people who wield power. Only a few weeks ago, I learned that something that terrified me. I learned that vampires are real. Murmurs of confusion ripple across the crowd. I'm not speaking in metaphors. I'm speaking of a phenomenon like the towers that shot out of the ground 7 months ago. I'm speaking to people who possess superhuman strength. I speak of beings who can move faster than the human eye can follow. I speak of creatures who are immortal, and yes, I speak of people who drink human blood to gain their vitality. The murmurs become angry words, then shouting. I have to shout my last words to be heard over them. I speak of the Bataille family. Silence. I turn and motion to someone in the shadows nearby. Charlotte emerges and steps up to face the crowd. More gasps and louder murmurs. Charlotte just smirks at them and waves away their concerns.
Come now, my darlings, these teeth might be pretty, but did you really think they're just for show? I know you're shocked, or at least you act like you're shocked. You probably even think you're shocked, but didn't you already sense it deep in your bones that I'm different from you? That my whole family is superhuman?
The faces of the crowd grow pale.
We're on your side. There's nothing for you to worry about. Yes, we occasionally need to eat, but I assure you, we can make that a pleasurable exchange.
The shock turns to fear and then anger. Someone starts yelling. We don't bow down to the devil. The crowd parts for him as he steps forward. He pulls out a shotgun and cocks it.
Well, hello there.
Before anyone knows what's happening, Charlotte blurs toward him. I see her hair stroke the wind. I see confusion on Steve's face, and then I see her fangs sunk into his neck. Someone screams. Everyone moves back to give Charlotte and her victim space, but no one runs away. Everyone is forced to face the grisly reality in front of them. Steve goes limp in Charlotte's grip as she drinks. She holds him, nuzzles him, and continues drinking to her heart's content. A tinge of jealousy burns through my veins. I hate to compare myself to Charlotte, but when I see blood stain her lips, I wish I could taste it for myself. The hunger in me is growing. I wonder how much longer I can keep it at bay. Finally, Charlotte looks up and drops Steve to the ground. I'm not sure if he's still alive. Charlotte wears an innocent expression around her bloody fangs.
See that, my darlings? This is how we deal with our enemies. And it's how we'll deal with your enemies if you remain our friends.
Grim silence.
Oh, that reminds me. Why did any of you ever think that my dear sweet brother Liam committed that horrible atrocity against Principal Vincent? Now that you know the truth, Erica, don't you realize what a mistake you made? Why would a vampire rip out someone's heart? The true culprit, who we all suspected from the start, is standing right over there.
She points at August. Once again, the crowd parts, this time to leave space around August. As August stares back at Charlotte, there's a wild glint in his eyes, unlike any I've seen before.
What are you doing? Serving up justice? People of Bataille, do you think my sweet brother Liam killed Principal Vincent, or was it this man right here, the Heartbreaker Killer?
Murmurs of agreement. Some people nod with growing enthusiasm. August stares at Charlotte with a gaze that sends chills down my spine.
You're a real twisted bitch, aren't you? Oh, so cruel. What do you think, my darlings? Who really belongs in lockup?
It's got golden eye now. People shout August's name, their anger growing in volume until a chant starts. Heartbreaker, heartbreaker, heartbreaker.
Ah, well, the people have spoken. I wish I could say something cliché, like you're going to regret this, but the truth is, Charlotte, you're insufferably wise. Locking me up is probably the only way to ensure your own survival.
For just a moment, Charlotte's smile falters, and then she clears her throat and motions to the crowd.
Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away.
August doesn't fight back as the crowd closes in and grabs him, but I don't think anyone else likes to get too close for the strange expression on his face. Finally, I make my way over and slap handcuffs on August's wrists. Seems the quickest way to end this horrible situation.
I must admit, Erica, you always manage to surprise me.
He looks to Charlotte, a haunting glint in his eyes. He speaks low enough for only the two of us to hear.
Here's your cliché. This has all happened before, and it will all happen again. Awfully droll, I know, but true. You will release me again, and next time things might go differently.
Interesting.
No. No. I refuse to entertain the notion of time loops. I refuse.
Time game.
I
It's all time games all the way down.
I try to ignore August's strange words as I move him out of the crowd, avoiding his gaze all the while.
Chess is a time loop game because you always start from the same board state.
Oh shit, you're right.
And you can always play another.
I motion for someone else to hold August as I step up to the podium once more. I try to think of something else to say. I want to, but the words don't come. Everyone's quiet again, waiting for my next announcement. I take off my sheriff's badge and hold it in my hands. I study it one last time. Then a second hand clasps around mine. I don't flinch. I instantly feel relief. I never heard him arrive, but I know who it is, and his presence fills me with comfort.
People of Bataille, do not be afraid. The Bataille family has always watched over you, and we will continue to do so. We all depend on each other to survive. I will continue to oversee the train. Liam will assist with any mechanical failures. Charlotte will punish any evildoers, and Erica will assist us, bridging the gap between human and vampire. We can live in harmony, and we can all be stronger for it.
He squeezes my hand and then lets go. I cast the sheriff badge away. The crowd is quiet. People bow their heads, and I hear the wind rustling in the trees as it stirs around us. And then the sky rumbles and rain cuts the air. Seems like a divine cue. The people somberly disperse. Charlotte picks up Steve's slack body. I remember August handcuffed nearby. As I lead August away, I glimpse someone moving towards the discarded badge in the distance. I think I recognize her. Maddie and I exchange a sad glance, so brief I wonder if I imagined it, before she's lost to the crowd. There's no route where Maddie dies, but this feels like the one that does her the most dirty, doesn't it?
This one's pretty brutal for her.
Yeah. God. What if he was just... He's just talking about the future, right? That's what August... I refuse. Can time loops out of nowhere go on the VN card, bingo card?
Time pranks starting now.
After I lock August away, I search for Julian, but I can't find him. Actually, you know what? I'm surprised it's time loops out of nowhere and not trans out of nowhere. That seems to be our somehow thing that keeps happening, huh? Instead, I find Charlotte in Mayor Ward's office. Steve's body is strewn across the floor next to her. I stop and stare at him. I see red blood glistening on his neck. An exotic, tantalizing flavor fills my mouth and nose, and I force a swallow down my throat.
Well, I suppose you've caught the scent, haven't you? I hoped you might. I left him alive, just for you.
I find myself kneeling on the floor next to him. I'm not sure when it happened. My mouth is watering. I can't look away from the blood. Charlotte leans down next to me. She brushes a finger across Steve's neck, gathering a drop of blood on her finger. She brings her crimson finger to my lips, and before I think twice, I lick the blood away. A tingle spreads from my mouth through my entire body. I gasp and tremble. I feel another presence next to me. It's Julian. He leans down and drinks briefly from Steve. Then he lifts his bloody lips and brings them to mine. I taste the blood from Julian's tongue. An electric bolt shoots through my body. I feel as if my flesh is shaking from my bones, but in its place, new strength surges through my muscles, and with it, hunger. I pull Steve's limp body from the floor and towards my mouth. I sink my teeth into his neck and taste power unlike any I've ever known. I keep sucking until there is nothing left. I feel someone's hand on my face gently guiding it away.
Careful, darling. We drink life, not death.
Her lips meet mine, warm, hungry, electric. An arm wraps around my stomach and pulls me against him. Julian. He's around me, filling to the brim with sensation. I'm drowning in pleasure and I can no longer breathe, but I don't care. With the power and rapture flowing through me now, I know I'll live forever.
So, concerns?
I mean, what are you talking about? It was going to be fine when we decided to become a vampire. Everything's fine.
We got Charlotte route?
A little bit. I
kind of hate that.
we got kind of like contact Charlotte, which is like because it was on Julian route, and I'm like, no. Yeah, I want you to know we haven't stopped thinking about that. It's
just trying not to surface it to the forefront of my mind. But yeah, So I think yeah. I wonder what the post-credit stinger is going to be.
Let's find out. I stir awake, my mind caught between dream and reality. As my eyes adjust to the dark. Oh, that's awful. I remember where I am. Even in nearly pitch black, I can see the room clearly. I'm in Julian's room with the Bataille mansion. What the fuck is that in front of the door? The bed is warm on either side of me. Oh, that's to the end. Okay, I thought that was like, you brought in some ritual pedestal? No, it's just the side of the bed. The bed is warm on either side of me. Slumped against one side is Charlotte. On the other side, Julian isn't there, but his side of the bed is still warm. Moving with the care and dexterity only a vampire could manage, I quietly untangle myself from Charlotte. She groans, stirs, and then slumps back into sleep. I follow the scent of Julian's presence from the room. Technically, it's not a scent, but I'm not sure how else to describe it. Somehow, his presence left a mark in the air, and my instincts let me follow it. Yay, Charlotte route. The monkey's paw curls a little.
Yeah. Oh God. This is our fault. This is our fault.
We caused this. This
we
was all
caused
us.
this to happen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. What do you think happens if we remain human?
I don't know. With great reluctance, I follow Julian's trail into the Bataille dungeons. I pass the room where I stayed a prisoner for so long, and then I keep going. At a point, I wonder if I'm dreaming. These grisly hallways are etched firmly in my memory, providing enough grim visions to fill my nightmares for life. I only traversed them once, but I remember where we turned. Gustav growling behind us. I remember reaching the door, then panicking at the lock. Something sits at the foot of the door. I peer closer until I recognize a bunch of dynamite.
And step away, Erica.
I don't need to be told twice. I scramble back up the stairs, following a wire on the floor to a safe distance down the tunnel. What the shit?
She told me, Erica. Charlotte told me about the button. Do you remember it?
Of course I remember the fucking button. Within the locked room was a pedestal with a red button. I knew it must be important, but Julian had told me not to touch it.
On the day of the contingency, before the towers rose, Charlotte pressed it.
No. That's impossible.
Why is it impossible? What else is possible?
When did she tell you this?
A few days ago. It doesn't matter. I didn't think I believed her, but now...
Why did she press it?
She said she felt like she needed to. She thought if she didn't, something terrible would happen.
Huh. He set something down. It's a plunger detonator. Because we're in a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. Julian, what are you doing?
I can't stop thinking about it. If that button lifted the towers, maybe it could lower them. We can't risk it, not after everything we've accomplished.
My heart in my throat. I watch him put his hand on the detonator.
You might want to cover your ears.
He thrust the handle downwards.
Gee, I hope I guessed quantities right. I really know nothing about demolitions.
New Story Plus from the main menu. New...
Oh, fuck.
New Game Plus.
Oh, fuck.
All right, so I have no idea what happens in New Game Plus here. Oh, here we can skip right to play Final Path. Okay.
Blooper reel.
Blooper reel.
Oh my god.
I can't wait till we unlock that. So next time, we will play the Final Path. I wonder whose name we put on there that time.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
No. No.
I'm so sorry. We brought this upon ourselves. Oh, enjoy the fucking 2.5 hour episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.